Social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse of only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, people, man, what's going on, man? What is going on, man? We're back in the building with our live match reaction. Liverpool obviously having 2 games today. That second game, by the way, was super boring. Like, I nodded off to sleep. So yeah, it's like I woke up and I saw that it was still 0-0. So I thought, okay then, okay. But big up everybody, big up all the Liverpool fans, of course, out there. Obviously, of course, I'll run through the first game. I felt like that game was quite intriguing. You know, talking about a couple of the players that I kind of noticed in that first game. And then obviously we'll take a little look at that second game and then we will head out. But we're not going to be here for too long, people. Make sure you are smashing that like button, sharing and subscribing to the damn channel, man. Big up Revenite in the building. Revenite saying that Las Palmas game was boring, basically. Some of those senior players stunk up the joint. Bro, it was absolutely rubbish. It was so rubbish. At least the Sevilla game was some good football. Yeah, there was some good football. Big up Scraps in the building. Hash Elliot, Jones, Darwin, Gakpo stunk. Yeah, man, it was honestly, that was so flipping boring. It was unbelievable, bro. Like, I would have thought that the second, you know what I mean? Like, because remember, these guys are fresh in it, so it's not like they're tired and then you've had to play another game later on in the day or anything like that. Like, I'm expecting you guys to continue to show, like, okay, yo, I want to start next week against Ipswich, especially those who maybe have not had that much game time and, you know, fitness wise and stuff like that. Like, I kind of expected a little bit more. Maybe that was just wrong of me. Maybe I shouldn't have, but yeah, I expected way more than what I saw. And I'll be honest, man, I just wasn't even impressed in the absolute slightest. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Scraps is saying Nunez definitely ain't getting that 30 GA or whatever it is everyone's saying he's gonna get, man. Don't worry, man. We'll get into that, man. We'll get into that. But obviously the first game, of course, we won 4-1 against Sevilla in that first game. This one was in front of the crowd. All in all, I would say, yeah, comprehensive victory by Liverpool. I mean, Sevilla weren't really that good, to be honest with you. But yeah, we were good. We were good on the ball. At times, not so great off the ball, but you know, overall, I think that was probably like a 7.5 out of 10 type of performance. Obviously, the team that we've had for that game was, here we go. We've got Trent, Alisson obviously in goal. Trent, Kwanzaa, Virgil van Dijk, and Kostas Tsimikas. The midfield was McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, and Dominic Szoboszlai. And then up front was Mo Salah, Diogo Jota, and Luis Diaz. This might, I mean, most people are saying that this is probably the team-ish, give or take. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 players potentially you might swap around, but most people are saying that this is the team that they would like to see, you know, face off against Ipswich next week away. I mean, even if we signed anybody, whether it's Zubimendi or someone else, I don't see them starting off the season anyway. So you're going to have someone in the midfield who was here last season, regardless. Whether that's Ryan Gravenberch or not, I don't really know, man. I felt like he's one of the players I wanted to talk about, him playing in that kind of 6 position, you know, deeper role. I thought like he was pretty good. I felt like, yeah, he was all right, man. He was all right in there. Me and Sabiri, I think, for that first game. Yeah, we was watching that game in the back office, and I know Ems was waxing lyrical about Gravenberch in that kind of 6th position, saying, you know, stuff about him and Zubimendi, and you know, if Zubimendi's gonna come, he's gonna basically do that, which I totally hear. And you know what, we haven't been able to see a lot of Ryan Gravenberch this preseason, obviously coming back a bit later because of the Euros. So seeing him in this game, I was like, yeah, like he just looked calm on the ball. To be honest with you, just kind of what I would have expected against Sevilla, if I'm being honest with you. You know, had time, you know, really in that kind of pocket of space to be able to kind of look up, find out where his next pass was. Movement was pretty decent, you know, off the ball. I think his passing accuracy was pretty good as well in the game. I haven't actually checked, but yeah, all in all, it was calm in there. And I think when we're looking at it, when we're looking at it from, I guess from a substitute aspect, you know, going into next season or next week, but going into the season, regardless of whether we sign anybody, we're going to need someone to be able to replace. You know, like if it is Zubimendi as an example, Zubimendi can't play all the games. It can't be like, oh yeah, because we signed Zubimendi, we don't have to worry. I feel like at times it's like we almost forget that. Like we have to have substitutes as well. We have to have other players, you know, being able to play. So I don't know if people agree, maybe Ryan is the person that people want to see, you know, in that position potentially. You know, it's an interesting kind of choice. If I'm being totally honest, man. And he said, yeah, bro. I'm not gonna be here too long anyway, bro. Like I'm not gonna hog this stream for too long. River saying, I'm angry. I had so much faith in Darwin. Gee, I was bamboozled. That's on you, my bro. I can't even help you with that one. Hash is saying, hope Jota doesn't get injured for a long time. Yeah, I mean, Jota took his goal well in the game. Of course, that really good ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold. You know what's so mad about that ball that he played? It was very nonchalant. It was very, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, because Trent does those kind of passes, that wasn't one of his like, oh my goodness, this is a difficult pass to make, or, you know, how's he going to be able to do this? Or he had to overexert himself to make that pass and he's got to do it with the outside of the foot and all that. Brother, it was just literally a very simple pass by Trent Alexander, for Trent anyway. Other people, maybe not so, but for Trent, it was a very, you know, simple pass, you know, over the top of the defense. And obviously Diogo Jota, that finish was really, really good. And I think, you know, big up Hashi saying it here, you know, he hoped Jota doesn't get injured. I think everyone hopes Jota doesn't get injured. I think, you know, forget even this game, because I don't need preseason to tell me, you know, that Jota is, you know, Liverpool's best striker when fit. But obviously from when I'm adding when fit, that's when the problem always comes into it. Like, I don't want to be having conversations about a player and it's always got to have the caveat of, oh yeah, but when he's fit, kind of thing. Oh, he might miss, you know, however many in games. That's so annoying to have about a player. Like, there doesn't need to be this caveat. And if there is a caveat, it can't be injuries. Injuries can't be the thing that I'm talking about mostly, you know, when I'm talking about certain players. That's very, very frustrating. So I think with someone like Diogo Jota, it is really about, can you stay fit, you know, for the majority of the season, you know, kind of thing. Because ultimately, if you don't, as much as we may not want Nunez or a Gakpo, whoever, to start up front, they are there. They are there. And Slot, I feel like Slot would then be like, yeah, listen, look, if you're missing too many games, I'm going to have to play the other guys. And if I play the other guys, you're not going to get back into the team. You're lucky sometimes with Klopp. You know what I mean? Like, he would come back into the team, you know, after a while. And once he was like fully fit, he would be like straight back into the team kind of thing. And he might, you know, dash Nunez to the left or, you know, play him somewhere else. But yeah, Slot I don't feel like he would want to rush anybody back from any type of injuries. You know, I think that's one of the main things that I take away anyway from, you know, Arne Slot. So yeah, you just got to kind of hope that he can stay fit for the remainder of the season. But in terms of our overall play, again, just like the Real Betis game, Man United game, Arsenal game, good patterns of play. There were some really, really good bits about our play, triangles, patterns, you know, all that kind of good stuff. One thing I will say is I am still a little bit, and to be honest, got nothing really even to do with Ali, so to speak, but I am a little bit like, ish, when we play out from the back. That's like the only thing that I think about, is just at times when we play out from the back, you know, we was losing the ball in certain kind of areas. You know, we was facing off against Sevilla. I think obviously I know that one of their biggest chances was from Kwanzaa mistake, but it's that playing out from the back. Obviously, I know there's risk to playing out from the back. Like any team, if you play out from the back, there's going to be those risks. That's my only worry, is just how close to goal are these risks. You know, and I get why you do them because of what it then leads to later on, you know, in the move, in terms of the build-up play and etc. But on the flip side of things, I am a little bit like, ish. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're going to have that problem but it's going to be good and bad, I think, this season. And obviously, I'll go through like my expectations and stuff, in a separate video. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of that this season where it's good and bad. There's going to be those moments where, unfortunately, Virgil or Kwanzaa or Konate or whoever, they're going to lose the ball. They're going to lose the ball. Opposition's going to score. Opposition's going to score. We're not going to, like, it's just like last season, if you guys remember, not so much playing out from the back, but, the way that we kept playing, it was just not sustainable over a long period of time. Or that's what I thought anyway. I feel like this is going to be something that he's just going to need the right profiles. I don't want to say not sustainable just yet, because I do want to give it a bit more time because it's new and I want them to learn it to the full extent and then be able to judge. But I do look at it sometimes and think to myself, eesh, if the right players are not playing or they're not in the right position, bro, just like De Zerbi with Brighton, it's the exact same thing. If it doesn't work, you get popped 5-0. Difference is we got better players, but you can concede goals, quite a lot of those, playing this way, especially because you're then going, staying within that kind of remit, that this is how we play, so this is what we're going to do. So yeah, it's just, I guess it's about balancing acts. But like I said, I am willing to just kind of, allow the team to just really fully get acclimatized and adjusted, with all of that. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Revenite saying here, everyone knowing off Diaz after one game. Do these people never learn? Yeah, I know, but preseason hype in the manner. I let people say what they want to say because I know the same people will be cussing certain players come the middle of the season. Scratch saying passes were awful until one finally worked out. Trey is a baller. I'd start him over Zobo. Bloody hell, I wouldn't do that. If you're good enough, you're young enough. No, I hear it. I just don't think he's that good. Like, I think Trey's good, but I don't think he's that good. Zubi, Maka, Trey, let me see it. Yeah, maybe in a cup game, broski. Maybe in a cup game. Big up Anfield Road End in the building. Sep wants some minutes. Hash, I think VDB knows that he will be at the bottom of the pecking order. Will not get many first game minutes, I assume. Yeah, I hear it. Like I said, man, it was just an interesting team. And again, obviously, I don't know what the situation is with Stefan Bajcetic. I think he came on, in the second half or whatever. But again, he's not started one game. Even in the second game, man's not started one game this whole preseason. Not one game. We've had all of these games. I think he may have started the game against Preston. Maybe. And I can't fully remember, but I'm gonna say he started a game against Preston, the behind closed door game. But outside of that, Stefan has not started one game. So for me, that's where I look at it. And you see, when you see these kind of things, I'm like, bro, you need to go on loan, bro. Manager don't trust you like that. Not at all. Not at all. Man's bringing on Trey before you. That in itself is crazy. As good as I think Trey is, imagine manager bringing on this guy before you. You're supposed to be more senior than him. Forget how long you ain't played football. The whole point of it is for you to play now. We need to see the manager needs to see you now. That's if he obviously sees you, in his plans kind of thing. And for me, I just think, yeah, like you got to loan out them kind of players like Bajcetic. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, some people say sell, but he's definitely got to be loaned out at minimum, this season. And in my opinion, I think it's just more about getting back up to speed, more than anything else. It's not necessarily about his ability. It's just more about the speed of the game, because we don't know what Bajcetic is right now. I'll be honest with you. I really, because I was genuinely confused, like why he isn't starting any of these games. But there can only really be one reason for that, unless he's got some injury that we don't know about, which is unlikely, I believe. Then yeah, it's just the manager just doesn't really trust you like that, So yeah, man, that was probably the only kind of, would I say, thing from preseason that I would say like, oh, okay, fair. Do you know what I mean? Like I get it, so to speak. In terms of, if that's not what you think or that's not what you see, then fair enough. Then we've just got to see it in the same way that you do. But back to the game anyway. I'll quickly just kind of like run through the players, so to speak. Trent, or Ali, should I say? Obviously, yeah. Thought Ali was calm. Thought Ali was Ali. It was good to see him playing out from the back and stuff like that. Yeah, at times, I can't lie, I don't care what anybody says. At times when I watch Ali play out from the back, it gets me nervous. I'm generally not as confident as other people when they talk about it. So whether you think he's great at it, bad at it, whatever, I don't think he's either of those things. I just think that when I look at Ali playing out from the back, I do get a little bit like, eesh, kind of thing. But, it is what it is. Trent, obviously with a lovely assist. I felt like Trent had a decent game, man. Decent little game for Trent, to be honest with you. Taking a look at his stats here, accurate passes, 48 out of 57. 73 touches onto the of the ball. He had 10 passes into the final third. I'd love to see what those passes were actually. Accurate long balls, 4 out of 7. Just give me one moment. Sorry, guys, just had to send out the bat signal. 2 tackles, 1 in the game, 8 recoveries in the game from Trent. Yeah. Honestly, I thought calm game from Trent. Calm game. Jarrell Kwanzaa, obviously apart from that mistake, which almost led to them scoring a goal. Yeah, thought he had a pretty decent, solid game. Back there. Virgil van Dijk. I'm interested to see Virgil. I said this already. I'm interested to see Virgil van Dijk because now we're not so heavily focused on you playing these long passes. The diags that he always plays. That ball that's always out to like Mo Salah. Kind of thing. I'm intrigued to see how he then does. I thought again another one. I thought, yeah, he was okay. He was fine. Simicast, the same thing. Thought he was calm as well. Costas, I felt like he was very enthusiastic. Is probably the best words I can probably use for someone like Costas Simicast. But yeah, he didn't really put a foot wrong. So I'm not going to sit here and say, and slate him or anything, anything like that. Big up Ends in the building, bro. How are you?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. How are you?
All good, man. All good. Just listening to what you've been speaking about on my way back home, stuff. But hey, man, impressive to an extent. Second game was dead, but I'll let you carry on, and whenever you need me, I'll jump in, bro. Big up to the chat as well, man.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I'm literally just going through the players anyway. But just in your opinion, really, for that first game, just your opinion. Obviously, we were speaking. I was telling the guys we were speaking about it anyway, back office. But yeah, man, how do you see that first game?
It was as always, man. It was. There's moments in the game where I'm like, okay, I can see where we could probably get caught out here, but I feel like if the way that we grow into games and the way that they're trying to play and the style we're trying to use, I feel like it's going to be a problem for most teams, man. I think it's like a catch-22 where most teams are going to be like, well, we can sit back, but I feel like now we're going to have enough, but I feel like the playing style with the patience, but we're moving the ball a lot more quicker. We'll break that down. Then you've got the other side of it is when teams go, let's just press Liverpool. We're going to play through them thirds, and then you're going to end up seeing that we're going to score a few goals. And it might be a few tap-ins, to be fair, based on how I'm seeing the patterns of play. But yeah, interesting, man. I think there's some standouts. I feel like there were some standout players. Gravenberch, for one. Jota looked good. Salah looked really, really sharp. Diaz looked good. And Simicast as well, for me, man, it was really, really good. I feel like he's kind of gonna. I know we need everyone wants another left back, and yes, I feel like obviously with the age of Robbo, Simicast, you'd say he's in his late 20s as well. I think he's 27. Yeah, you're gonna need someone else for left back. He ain't done himself anything bad this preseason. To be fair, he's played well in all the games that he's played in. I haven't seen any real mistakes or anything like that, and he's been effective going forward. He's been aggressive on the press. But yeah, man, I really like that first game, man. I like the way we finished off the chances as well. But yeah, all good, man.
No, 100%, man. And also, just going through the players and stuff like that. What? One thing I think. I was listening. I was when the first game was on. I think when Cav was still in there. There's something I was literally sitting down and I was listening to what Cav was saying. I don't want to go too into it because it leads into the show that I know you got coming up real soon. But the way that we kind of play.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want you to go too into it because I want obviously the show's coming up. But when you look at the way that we played, do you think it's a sustainable way of playing, or do you feel like, for what we've got currently, with if we didn't sign any players and we just went into the season with the players that we've got, do you look at it as like a sustainable like way of playing, or do you think, what do you think?
No, I think it can be sustainable, but like I said, man, there is going to be moments where I don't know, the teams that we play against has to get the press right. So like an Arsenal, for an example, I can only use them, maybe Man City as well, based on the way they press. If you get the press right and you win the ball, I feel like, that could be an issue. But I feel like there's only a handful of teams that can do that. Obviously, we're not playing Arsenal, Man City every week.
Of course.
We get to play them twice in the season. There's obviously going to be other teams as well that might be good. But if you get the press wrong, and the way we leave pretty much five. I think it's like 5v5. We leave 5 back, leave the rest forward. So if you miss that press, it ends up we outnumber you going forward. And I feel like now we've added, and I don't think it's like accidental. I realize when teams have pressed us and they've tried to go man v man, what we end up doing, we go back to the goalkeeper, and if you notice, and it's like carbon copy the goal that we scored when Harvey put in Mo against Arsenal. We did the same goal today. So what happens is if they press man v man and we're like, okay, there's no outlet, we go into Mo, but it has to be a precise kick. Mo controls that, lays it off first time to Jota, and then Sobo. I could see from when they had the camera from behind the opposition goal, I saw as soon as he kicked it, I saw Sobo's movement. And I'm like, this is by design, because he now knows it's going to be a knockdown and Jota is going to then play me in on the overlap. Then Diaz was on the opposite side for the goal. So your question is it sustainable? I think it can be, bro. I feel like there's little things in between the system that we're using that's going to catch a lot of teams out. But the good teams, the Arsenals and the Man Cities, based on how they play. But the problem with them too as well, what I even noticed against the Arsenal game, because they're so confident in terms of how they play, and they're like, right, we trust what we're going to do in terms of a pressing standpoint. They still left. You could see that we outnumbered them once we beat the press, and that could happen against Man City. And obviously the Charity Shield game was dog shit. It was shit.
Yeah, it was rubbish.
But you could see that when Man United got through like Man City's press, they countered them, and you could see that there was so much overload by players. Obviously, better finishing from Rashford and a few of the other guys. Man United could have won that game on another day. And we've got, I want to use the word clinical because I know we ain't been that clinical, but we had scored quite a few goals. But we have got players in the team that can put those chances away. Jotas and your Salahs, and looking at Diaz today as well, how sharp he looked. Yeah, so I feel like it can be sustainable, bro. I just feel like it's going to be, teams are going to have to try and figure it out, man. But I feel like we have got, once you figure it out, I feel like we've got the plan A and plan B. So plan B and plan C if you try and figure out plan A.
No, man. I hear you, man. I hear you. Big up Savage, man. Love for joining in, bro. So yeah, man. We just, just talk about that first game just quickly here. But yeah, really just your thoughts as well, man. In regards, we wasn't in the back office with you in that first game. So I'd love to know,
the first game. I mean, the first game was fun to watch, just in terms of attacking and scoring goals. I think it's always a positive that people start to look a bit sharp. Sevilla's a good football team, but they didn't really offer much. So I kind of wanted them to, so I could see the defensive system and that. And really, Kwanzaa and Virgil were pretty comfortable. Like I could tell straight away that the only issues you're going to make is your own issues by like lackluster passing here and there, and that's what it was. But me and Cav were speaking about this earlier, and not in a bad way, because I don't particularly care too much, but I don't. It just looks the same, bro.
I hear what you mean.
Apart from like, there's little things that, of course, I can see the difference. Like, I mentioned to you and End last season that Ali makes me feel uncomfortable on the ball. But the man decided to give him the ball even further back.
That's what I said just before you come on stream. Yeah,
it's like before it was like, he was holding on to the ball in bare space and waiting for the man to come to. Now he's doing it when someone's right in front of him. And I knew this would happen, because the first thing I said when I saw the little details they're trying to do, I was like, this is closer to what he's trying to do. Looks closer to what De Zerbi does with Brighton.
100%.
And as you saw with those, Steele and Webb and all that, they make mistakes on it. The goalkeepers, like every couple of games, they made a mistake and then they just rotated them. Not to mention that you will get caught out eventually. So I don't. The only difference is I don't know yet, and it's really not a competitive game of how stubborn he is. You know, like if it doesn't work in a game where you can tell that a striker's got someone's number, do you persist and keep doing it, or do you say let's go to Plan B? Obviously, De Zerbi at Brighton didn't have Plan B, so every now and again you'll see Brighton get battered 5-0 out of nowhere, just randomly, and then the weeks after the cook. But yeah, in attack, yes, there's a few little patterns of play. Like obviously the goal when Szoboszlai squared it to Diaz, like what Enzo said. I saw that goal in the other game as well. Even when Harvey knocked the ball down, and Jota knocked the ball down to Harvey and it went through, it's almost identical. But apart from that, everything just looked the same to me. The only difference is that when the man them score, it always looks like it works. Like it, if that sounds stupid, but when the man them are sharp in front of goal, everyone just goes, "Oh yeah, it works." But it's just the same football, bro. Like Diaz's goal, which I was happy he scored it. That roof of the net goal is what he does every game. It's just that he normally gets blocked when he tries to shoot.
Before he shoots,
he's always aiming to put the ball in the corner. Even when I saw the second game, like every time Gakpo cut in, that's what he does every game anyway. The only difference I saw was that fact that I saw Trent actually get to the byline. That's it. I'm being deadly serious. That's kind of the only thing I saw different, bro. But they still more comfortable on the ball. I don't know, man. I'm like I said when in the back office earlier, bro. I'm not complaining about my team winning 4-1 and not losing the other game. I'm excited for them to win games. But if we're just analysing it on this, I don't think there's anything special so far. It just looks the same to me.
Yeah, hey, listen. All I'm saying, guys, is if I said this, everyone will be shouting at me. But go on, sorry.
No, are you saying it looks same from a tactical standpoint, Sav, or are you just saying same as? So I understand.
It looks the same. It looks almost identical. I mean, there's little things that they do when they're bopping the ball around, but they slowly just get back to what they were doing before. Like, I don't know. It's the same. Like, if you go off last season, then obviously everyone's going to go, no, it's a massive improvement. But I'm like, okay, but it's easy to go off last season because of how it ended, or if you go off the season before when terrible. But when Liverpool were good before, that's how them lot played today. That to me is almost identical. And then obviously I saw that in the second game, Robbo was inverted. He was good. He was good at it. You know what I mean? He was off the ball sometimes, but he was good at it. He was in the right spots and that. But and in the first game, Trent went inverted as well. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of the same. The team's a bit more narrow. And you want to leave the space on the side for the fullbacks, but when a team going narrow and then someone inverts anyway, then everyone's inverted. So I didn't see much difference in it. But that depends who you're talking to, because obviously most people were fed up with Klopp's football. I was just fed up with not having a plan B and changing certain things. So for the people that are fed up with Klopp's football, I mean, you might get a couple of more passes and that, but it just looks the same. I mean, they're not going to hit the ball as long every now and again, but even when I first saw Trent hit the ball long first in the game, it was early in the game, I was like, I thought we weren't really going to see that. But we did straight away. So.
Nah, man. Listen, man. I agree with points of what you're saying still. There's some things I'm like, but I agree with points of what you're saying. There's a couple of questions here I wanted to throw to you guys. I'll leave that one. I'll put this to Savage. Thoughts on Szoboszlai's passing?
It's just.
To be fair, it wasn't anything different. I'll be honest.
Yeah. This is the problem. I'm not moaning. I'm not moaning at all.
No.
But if anyone's trying to get out some like Oscar-winning performance out of these, I'm not. It's just a regular game. I'm glad that you get what I'm saying, and I'm glad they won the games and that. But I don't know what I can say because everyone. Because I was just watching Quasi's stream and he was telling like Rods to apologize to him for not wanting slot at the club and all that. And I'm like, he doesn't really need to apologize. We ain't had a competitive game yet. Ask him at the end of the season, innit?
And let's be real, guys. Come on, man. Let's not do the revisionism because people didn't even know who Slot was. You know what I mean?
Bro, honestly, I didn't really see anyone being rude or anything like that. Obviously, if you don't know who the man is and you're leaving Klopp, then I don't blame them for not saying, "Oh, I thought we was going to go for a bit of whatever and all that." But there's nothing to like. It's weird because you can only judge what you can see, but at the same time, it's not competitive football, bro.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because even the other teams are subbing off 7 men at a time and that, bro. So it's not, you know what I mean? So it's one of them.
Yeah.
If we had beat Man U and Arsenal in the Prem, talking a little bit different then, isn't it? But we'll see, though. We'll see. I just think that the boys are sharper, and the defensive hole, what kept coming up last season, I think naturally. I don't know. I think even if it wasn't slot but safe, and we're glad it's here. I think naturally they would have sorted it out anyway. Because it felt like a not a one-off, but like a continuation from the end of the previous season, and we just went with it because it was about getting Trent. It felt like it was, and I'm not blaming him, but it just felt like it was about getting him involved in what he wants to do and stuff like that. But naturally, I thought we would have changed it anyway. So, yes, as I said, this is the same in a lot of moments to me, but there's little details that he changed, which I would expect him to, because us as even content creators saw the gaps in it, so he should see it. So it's not that he's done anything wrong. I'm glad he's done it. But don't know, man. Maybe the players need to get more comfortable on the ball in it, and maybe I'll see more patterns of play like that, because some of them don't trust each other, some of them don't trust themselves, some of them don't show for the ball. Some don't want the ball. Some are too safe. Some are not safe enough. Some don't want to take risks.
I definitely agree with that. I do think once they need to get more comfortable. I don't feel like it's that comfortable at this moment in time.
Yeah, because you'll always see you'll see the odd player who wants the ball. They will drop into a hole in it between two players, and you're looking at the player go, "Pass me the ball," in it. That guy doesn't trust that player, bro, so he just passes it sideways, and it goes the other way. Whereas, you know what I mean, you kind of want it to drop it through there, man. If we make a mistake, safe in our sort of pre-season's form, bro, they're getting used to it. Nobody being safe in pre-season.
Yeah.
So,
no,
yeah. Good goals, though. All the goals that I took were good goals, man.
No, 100%, man. 100%. Ends, man. Judging, if you had to judge it, obviously, based off of what you saw today in both games, what would your midfield be for the Ipswich game?
Same one that we saw in the Seville game.
Same one we saw in Ryan Gravenberch,
McAllister and Sobbo.
No Curtis Jones.
Nah. And that's not to knock him. I just felt like we looked a bit, I want to say we looked a bit more balanced today. I didn't see us give the ball away in positions. For example, I know we want to talk about the second game in a second. I use this as a diss to Curtis, but from what I saw from Gravers and Mac, I didn't see what I keep seeing from Curtis. Is that little ball? I don't know if he doesn't check over his right shoulder or his left shoulder, but that little ball he's playing into like these dangerous little areas, and there will be a moment where one of these teams punish us because of that. And it keeps happening. I'm like, okay, but on the ball,
I heard you like, I heard you in the back of it. When Curtis is not going forward, not even misplaced passes. He was making the pass, but he's going back. And I heard you like, bro, why don't you go forward? And
look, I know that we have to be a bit more patient, and I feel like the build-up, from what I've noticed anyway, the speed of passing is a hell of a lot better than what it was on the clock. We're not just putting our foot on the ball and waiting for too long. From a defensive standpoint, yes, to drag the team out, but when we get into the midfield, it's a lot more sharper football. And whether it's an extra pass that you don't need, we use it. But it was just when a player plays a 1-2 pass, I think you should go and give it, and he doesn't give it. He goes sideways or back, and I'm like, bro, just give it to him, because then he can turn and open up, and then we could be, in a good position. But yeah, in terms for the question, bro, Gravenberch, McAllister, and Sobber, those are the three I'll pick.
Nah, man, I hear you. Big up honesty, man. Much love and appreciation, my guy, man. Trent Alexander-Arnold versus Sevilla. 4 chances created, the most. 8 recoveries, the most. 1 assist in the game. And he goes on to say, Liverpool still waiting for Zubimendi and Real Sociedad. Liverpool internally thinking about other options, but priority as of now still Zubimendi. Much love for both, to be honest. All of the ITKs, as they like to call them, They were the ones telling me, like, nah, bro, trust me, man, it's gonna be done. You know what I mean? Like weekend, we're gonna get the answer. Boom, boom, boom. The weekend is now basically done.
I watched his press conference just as well, man. I watched his press conference and Virgil's interview and asked him about transfers. And he basically said the same shit that he said the other day, when he first came in, was like, if we can find the right person and they're available, then we'll look to strengthen. But as you can see from both games, it's going to be hard to, because I've inherited such a strong team. Didn't I tell you that I was going to say that before you got here? I told you that was going to be the case. And then man are talking about, that's Virgil. Virgil said the club ain't even offering me a contract, bro.
Yeah, look at that.
You're taking the piss out my captain or what, bro?
Bigger honesty again for the super chat, man. Much love, bro. Yeah, he's literally saying it here. Virgil van Dijk says Liverpool have not offered him a new contract yet. There is no changes at the moment.
It's crazy. See you pushes. You Edward is my Messiah in that, bro. Come to the congregation, bro. God, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean? You at least offer him something and let him discard it, bro.
You know what's mad, yeah? You see stuff like that. Hey, you know, I'm gonna wait until.
All I'm saying is that's the way to make a player feel special in it, blood.
Especially your captain as well. That's very, very, very interesting. Big up, honestly, again, man. Much love, bro. Much love for the super chat, man. Liverpool have held talks with Trent about signing a new contract, and progress has been made. The defender is in line for a huge, in quotes, pay rise. So we saying, well, you can't offer Virgil
one at a time. One at a time, bro. One at a time. Can't be sorting out this contract at the same time. Just give Trent his thing. Let him, you know what I mean? Future captain.
Well, hold on. So, okay. So it ends.
Virgil, you're next. We'll sort your.
Hold on. No.
Every player gets our undivided attention, bro.
Okay. You are 100% right. Do you not think that the captain of the football club should be the first one that we get sorted out?
No, because there's a lot of context to that. Anyway, we're looking at one that's, you'd say, back end of his career. How people look at it, and the club would look at it as well. What is he, 33? So you're like, okay, he's on the, one is 25 and he's a vice captain. We want to make sure we secure, this player first. Then Virgil will see what we can offer you, and then we'll go from there. And then Mo's the next one in line, bro.
It's a disgrace.
Virgil and then Mo.
It's a disgrace. In the words of Didier, bro. You know how long it takes man to offer a man a contract, bro? Not long at all, bro. It don't take 24 hours. I know that much, bro.
Hey listen, man. We can't even offer a guy that we're trying to buy a contract yet, bro. Takes time.
But don't you think Virgil's more important?
I think he's important, but obviously one at a time in it, then you get undivided attention, bro. When it's your turn,
gay ass contract signing into these, bro. In WWE, they just go to the ring, sign it, and fight, bro. Listen, your quote was that doesn't show like the player being like the way that I think they should do it. Like one at a time, that will show you that I'm special, bro. It was like, let's deal with Trent. You're next, then we'll go to Mark. Nah, because it's not. How do you think they do it, bro? Like, what do you mean, bro? They've been back.
They've been back just over a week, bro. Like,
how long do you think they need, bro? One day, man comes to the office, speak to this Don. Next day, next time they come to the office,
bro. We're trying to sign players at the same time, bro. There's only one man in, bro. Richard Hughes is one man, bro. He doesn't.
You think Richard Hughes doesn't have anyone who works with him?
Yeah, but they're not going to be the ones offering contracts.
It's not about them offering contracts.
Like, you draw it up and then I'll just sign it off. Nah, I don't.
This shit's not hard, bro. This shit's not hard. You sit down with man's agent. He's representing the player.
Zubimendi, bro. What do you want the man to be? He's trying to get in the play you man want. So let him.
Don't do the you man want business, bro. If you like, honestly, your player you've already got that most people would say is probably your most important player, or a player that you don't know how good he's going to be at the club yet. You don't even know if he wants to leave his country. You don't know how much you're going to give him. Bro, this is disgraceful, bro.
I never thought I'd ever hear Savage saying.
You know why? Because I told you this before. I said I will wait. I'm not doing the this person told me this and these person. I said I'll wait till somebody actually mentions the contract. Now the man himself has mentioned it, bro. So now nobody needs to come to me and tell. Well, he never said that. What Virgil actually said? It's Klopp's fault. No, blood. He just said what he said. Virgil, he's sponsored by gin and juice, bro.
You can wait your time, bro.
You know what? All I'm saying is, listen, Nacho just left, didn't it? There's a space next to Rudiger. Alaba is injured all the time. I'm just saying, Rudiger and Virgil.
What, two free signings? That'll be amazing.
See out your contract for the last year. Come to the dark side next year, brother. It could be, there's bare ballers there. Yeah, I mean, you get a beautiful stadium. The weather's perfect. The gala better than all the.
You know what? Virgil in Spain. It's a long day, you know. What, the laid back kind of.
Who's getting past Rudiger and Virgil? It's a long day.
A couple of years.
That's a long day, man. Honestly, again, man, bro, much love, man. Much love, man. Much love. Honest Slot asked why Sep did not play today. Load management. We don't want to take the risk of him getting injured. We thought it would be best not to start today, and Nat also deserved to play.
That's what he said word for word as well. In the conference I just watched, he literally said that. He said Nat deserves to. He said Nat's been training with us for a while, so he deserves to get some minutes. Bruv,
that's a lot. Everything else was fine, by the way. Everything else he said, I don't mind. But Nat deserves to play, brother. He deserves to leave.
You're running up and down in the sun, G, bro. You deserve some minutes, bro. Let the man get some minutes.
No. Of course, because obviously he's a part of the. I agree, he's a part of the squad. Why is he here? Is my problem. Because the reason why I say that is because now what he's doing right now is that's hindering. What's this guy's name, man? What's the black youth's name? The centre back.
Naldo.
Yeah. That hinders what he could have been able to show us in this preseason a bit more. Yes, he come on a little bits and bobs, of course. But we're talking about a player that we all know he ain't seeing a minute of football. A minute. He's 100% not playing for Liverpool this season.
This man will be in January, bro, if we need him, bro.
No, I know. And that's the annoying part is that we'll probably loan him out again. Maybe I don't know. Southampton probably need a defender. I don't know. I haven't checked their team out like that, but maybe they will look for
I respect Nat, bro, but the club are terrible if they can't move him on, bro. That's crazy, bro. I seen somebody post yesterday with a picture of him and Reece said these two would survive a zombie apocalypse, bro.
No, they're still here. What season was that we they were playing? 2021. 2021. We're talking
COVID could have beat these two, blood.
Bro, it's just a long.
You know what else? They use them on thingy as well, Nat. You know when we have the little things on LFCT on the YouTube and that, the interviews, and they use that on them as well, bro.
Bro, he's not taking a piss, bro. Then again, he's been here for a minute. I'm sure he's been here longer than Virgil, isn't it?
He goes raving and all that. He loves a concert. He gets paid decent money to do just train and be fit. Oh, he's living the dream, bro. Everyone out here feeling so. Don't feel sorry for that. That's good, bro.
Yeah,
he's 27 now, bro, and he still plays for Liverpool.
Yeah, man. I can't lie. Don't be in that position, bro. I'd like to say I want to play football, but if you want to pay me to do nothing, all right?
Nah, it's a bit mad, man. Anyways, we'll move on anyway. I know don't worry, guys. I have starred everything. All questions, I will go through them. So don't worry. Don't think I haven't seen your questions, but we'll go through the rest of them towards the end. But big up everyone, of course, in the chat. Guys, man, the second game, I can't lie, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Is that why when I was calling your name, you didn't answer me?
Bro, sorry, if you was calling, I fell asleep, bro.
Your thing wasn't on mute, and I was going, G, and then Ed's like, I think it's on mute. I'm looking at your thing, it's not on mute, bro.
Bro, honestly, bro, as in, when I was watching, I was sitting there, and I'm listening to you both talking, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, calm. And then I promise you, I looked down at my phone for 2 seconds to look at a message from someone, and I must have turned the other way. So now I'm not facing the laptop. I can hear it though. I can hear it, and I'm like, bro, if anything happens, these two will make noise enough for me to turn around. Bro, that was it. That was game over for me, bro. That was game over, man. Before we quickly go into that, let me quickly just run through this. Again, honestly, man, pro, I don't know, sharing the love, man, but much love, bro, much love. He's asking question. I know it's early, but in a game that we are winning 5-0, would you play Trey and Ryan in midfield for the last 15 minutes? Gravenberch. Oh, sorry. I was thinking, who does Ryan? Be Gravenberch.
Yeah, why not, bro? But I don't think Trey.
If we're 5-0,
yeah, you'd give him minutes. But the only problem with that is I don't think he'll make the match day squads. I feel like there's so many. You'd have to do something special to make that match day squad.
Yeah, I think he's going to make all them cup competitions apart from the FA Cup and League Cup. I think he'll be starting or on the bench in them ones. But
a part of me wants him to bulk up, but the other part of me is like, is that going to take away from your game though?
Don't think so. I think
Okay,
even like
fair.
Gravenberch is kind of built. That's not bulky, but it's decent.
Okay, yeah, be like a Gravenberch. Yeah, be like that.
I mean like that. I don't think he needs to do anything, man. But yeah, to his question, 100%. Why not 5-0, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like
And
Savage
Ronaldo.
soon. Savage?
What would I do?
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, if the game calls for it, I don't. No, I'll sub them on, but whatever position the manager wants to put them on, yeah, that's fine. Rest whoever's on the pitch. I don't particularly want to see them together. I don't really need to. They're like the same person, but just one's older, so.
Yeah, literally, almost look the same as well. Honestly, also saying that Nat and Reese will survive the Black Death. Jesus Christ! Honestly, man, like you see when Thanos was doing I reckon them man would have survived. They would have been the ones who stayed, bro. I can't even lie, bro. They would have been the ones who didn't get involved in the blip. But yeah, man. Second game. I'll start with you, Ends, man. Bro, talk to me about the second game. I guess you guys can really chop that part up really for me. Yeah.
You know what I did for that one, G? I wrote down players. I wrote down the players I wanted to see. In terms of, I just wanted to see because I knew the game was going to be shit, bro. So I wrote down the players in terms of how they do in first half and second half, just to see what they can offer from what I saw in the team against Sevilla and obviously across pre-season, how Arne Slot kind of wanted, how he wants to play. And obviously the main ones is like Nunez, Wataru, Ibu, Elliot and Jones. I thought, they played enough to kind of, they'll make the match day squad. Gakpo, Moore, and Robbo. Because we've seen Kelleher, we've seen Bradley, seen Jones and Elliot. We haven't really seen Wataru, to be fair, even though he's been there. We haven't really got to see him do anything. Wataru's one. I'll start with him, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a player. Would I keep him? I think if the right bid comes in, sell him now. But if not, I think he's the type of guy you would bring on to see out a game. Okay. Don't see him as someone you can start now.
Are you talking about his road to his hips and that? Like,
bro. He's just like. Then he started doing it, but then it was like he's starting to do something that's unnatural to his game, which is going to take you a bit of time to learn. But with that, you're going to have loose touches, loose control in terms of like when you're touching out your feet. You're going to be late in certain challenges. Certain people are going to, turn you a bit more easier because you're not actually sitting into, your normal defensive midfield role. So yeah, with him, man, I think if the right bid comes in, bro, sell him. I don't see how he fits this team from a starting standpoint. And I think he's just a guy. If you're 2-1 up, you're like, we ain't gonna score no more goals. We need some fresh leg. We need someone to come on and kind of rough some players up and making sure that we kind of see this out. Then you bring him on. Other than that, I don't see how he's useful in this team. And there's not enough to play. It's just this is how the gaffer wants to play, bro, and he doesn't suit it. Nunez today weren't good. There's a few good little patterns where we touch and plays it off and stuff like that. But overall, then I have to add context. Context is first bit of football in how long in terms of Liverpool playing in a disjointed team. So it's not an excuse in terms of that. But yeah, you can see that maybe a few more weeks or whatever, a couple more games. Maybe. But from a starting standpoint, he won't start. It'll be Jota that start. So I can't even, you know what I mean? From that, it's not like he's going to be the one that starts for me. Ibu, I was impressed with. I felt like he was really good because I wanted to see how he takes the ball on the back foot, how he plays out. Is he calm? Does he look flustered? What's his movement like in terms of playing it into the midfielders? Look calm, bro. Looks aggressive, looks strong, looks sharp. Robbo looks fine to me as well. Cody was at the game, in the game, out the game. Not much. I didn't see much from him in as well, but same context for him as well. These men ain't really played, have they? This is their first sort of football since obviously since the tournament, but obviously under the new manager and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Jones, shaky at times, but good overall. Elliot, he was all right. But yeah, and Bradley and that was just good, man. Bradley and Robbo was good. Kelleher was fine as well.
Nah, man. I hear you, man. Big up, Jerry, man. Love for joining us this evening. Yeah, evening time. Evening. Savage, man. I'll go to.
What's going on?
No, man. All love, man. All bless. I'll go to you, Savage. What I wanted to ask you really is, did you expect more from this second team because of what the first team obviously done in terms of maybe a bit more enthusiasm potentially, or
Nope. The game went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Fair.
Yeah, but once I saw the behind the closed doors and the fans had gone, I was like, yeah, this I can already tell, bro. It felt like the world's longest rondo, bro. Like we had the ball loads, didn't do too much with it, kept trying to pass the ball into the net. We got into good positions. Like, I'm not saying they weren't terrible, they weren't even bad. It's just that they will get the ball into the final third, and then when the decision making from a lot of the players was pants, bro. It's like, yo, shoot, don't. No, that's when they pass the ball. Then when they should have passed the ball, they don't pass. It's all over the place, man. Yeah, no one really stood out to me in terms of like anything I've not seen before. So I think Ibu was probably the best player, but he didn't stand out. It's just normal Ibu stuff. I thought Robert was decent, especially because he had to do this weird inverted thing. For a minute, I was like, yo, man's in the middle of the park when he had that shot, hit the post and that. But I was like, what's he doing? And then didn't see him drop back. But I could tell, like, obviously the defensive midfielders had covered that spot. Curtis and Lautaro in there. With them two, bro, they're passing accurate. I'm not checked on that, but I'm almost sure that they don't, like, misplace passes much at all, bro. Like, it's almost
Curtis doesn't. Curtis actually does not misplace
both of them, I swear to you, bro. Like, Lautaro will get caught on the ball, but when it comes to them passing it, I know Lautaro is more because he doesn't pass the ball forward as much. But yeah, you're right, Curtis, bro. It's almost perfect, bro.
Let me check, man.
And I'm always, it has to be both of them have to be above 90, bro. It has to be, bro.
Oh, it's well above 90 for Curtis Jones, and yeah, both of them are above 90.
Yeah. I thought
62 out of 66 for Endo, and 88 out of 90. He only misplaced 2 passes in the whole game.
And one of his misplaced passes is the one when he didn't look up when he was by the box and then he ran in the square. Yeah. So, and I don't know if the corners count, bro, because he took the corners as well. But
no, I don't think corners passes as a pass.
Yeah, but I gathered that anyway. Yeah, I said it in the game as well. Like, and don't get me wrong, this isn't an awful thing. It's just at the time and place. Sometimes, man, are reluctant to play the forward ball and just want to recycle it and move in it, and that's what Wataru does. But then I literally, as I said it to Ends, he literally played this reverse through ball into Nunez, bro, out of nowhere, and obviously, and then he should have scored. And I'm like, yeah, that's what he does, bro. Like, he can't. It's not that he can't do it, but man is so focused on safety first. I don't know if it's that last season at Stuttgart when those, that to keep safe and that, bro, and not get relegated because he's just reluctant to do it, bro. So if you're in a game on the front foot, he might wind you up a little bit. Whereas if you're winning a game and you bring him on, it's probably going to help you. So that's the benefit to him there. Gakpo was a bit, I don't know, he's a bit out of the game, and like there's parts where he looked like he didn't want to run, and then everything else is a bit basic. You know what he's going to do: cut in on the right, try and shoot where he's off. I don't think anyone else stood out. I was fine with the defense, to be honest, bro. All of them were fine. Bradley, Kanate and Robbo and Phillips, they were fine. Elliott was decent, especially later on in the second half. He was moving the ball a bit quicker and going on a few runs instead of, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, that was kind of it, bro. Doak is one of them, innit? Like, he's still raw talent, so young as well, man. I can definitely see why it would cause people problems. He's just got to vary his play up a little bit more. That's the only thing, but and probably get off the shot earlier, because if he does, he'd catch you out every time, but held the ball on in the box for too long. And then Nunez, I don't know, his movement's really good, but the execution once the person plays the ball into him, yeah, it's a bit Nunez-ish, isn't it?
It's a bit Nunez-ish.
Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't see much change there. So hopefully, yeah, I mean,
yeah, you know what's mad though? I think sorry, that's me speaking for you. In my eyes, because obviously we got this new manager, I don't know why, but I just thought maybe I would see something different about Nunez. I don't know, I just thought like, oh yeah, he's gonna be. I don't know, like he's just gonna do something different. Where
exactly, okay, man. If I'm realistic, then of course I'm not gonna see a change that quick. But I'll tell you what, I did expect to see a change. Like his movement was good, but I still thought that the one thing they can change is his positioning in terms of that he's just in the box, bro. Like he's just in around that penalty spot, but he wasn't, bro.
Mm.
I was hoping that was going to happen, man, because I'm like, the fullbacks are not overlapping, which is good because we don't do that enough. Stokes on the picture, he'll always cook, man, and get to the byline. So I'm like, yeah, the ball's going to come into the box, so you kind of want the striker to be there, innit? I mean, you're not kind of. Everyone does that.
Everyone wants it.
Should be. And he's like on the edge. He was on the edge of the box more than the penalty spot is. But I don't know. It could be by design. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Without any disrespect, I said I'm going to give him the season and hope. I mean, I can't do anything anyway, so I'm not going to diss him or anything like that. But I have to say, man, I want a striker, bro. If I knew Jota wasn't going to be fit, I'd be fine. But nah, man, I almost don't even. I'd rather get another striker and Nunez improves, brother, than I have two bad boy strikers and the one who don't know if he's going to stay injured than risk it because yeah.
Nah, it's plainly true. I actually don't know the answer to that question. Something tells me no, not fully, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie and say I would know the answer to that question. Jerry, man, I don't know if you watched the second game that we had against Las Palmas. But yeah, man, what's your kind of thoughts, man? Obviously, this kind of second string team, so to speak. Obviously, a couple players who needed minutes, etc. But yeah, man, your thoughts, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I didn't watch the game, but I went and looked at the stats. And the first guy I went to go and look at, obviously, Sav just ended on him, was Nunez, innit? Wanted to see what did Nunez do. Like, how did he do in this system? I'm seeing 60% pass accuracy. This guy's like, I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm not even gonna get into it anymore. But 60%, like. And we've just come obviously, and to be fair, having these two games is really great because you get to really go and look at like the favoured, 90% of the favoured players, like playing in their positions, playing in obviously in the first game, and then looking at like the depth of the squad. And I just like, it's night and day between Jota and Nunez, man. Like it's night and day. Like, I thought Nunez would just be like that kind of in the box striker for Slot, but clearly Slot wants more from a striker, and I just don't think this brother's got he just doesn't. He's just not good enough in it. But I'm not even gonna get onto him. I'm not gonna berate him. I'm not even gonna like discuss. His poor performances, missing chances again. Like it's just, I don't know, man. He's so much chaos, but I think more than ever before, he's just looking like a square peg in a round hole. Like his chaos, Slot is a bit more measured in how he wants to do things. So now he can't even be chaotic in his own way because it kind of disrupts everything that the team's doing. So I don't know, man. Exactly. So boy, Apart from that, I heard Cody Gakpo was a bit needy. People told me the Dutchman. There'll be a Dutch link up with Slot, and Slot will. Activate Gakpo. Obviously, it's yet to be seen, innit? Because Trent went straight into that first lineup.
Big up, bro.
And for me, it seems like that first team's the team that's going to be playing against Ipswich. Well, that's what it looks like to me. So, look, all in all, decent run out. As Savage said, it was just like a long rondo from what I heard in terms of looking at possession and stuff. So, it is what it is. That's the most I've got to say on everything, man. Nat Phillips, I saw a picture of him with a bandage on his head, and I was like, this is crazy, bro. How's his brother still in this team? And yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it.
Big up, Scraps. I'm gonna get into some of the questions that I started, but I had to. This actually just made me laugh. You can't even talk about Nunez without feeling like you gotta say, I don't want to get in onto it. It's true. That's the first thing I think when I think about it is that I'm always like, I don't want to get onto this brother. Like it's just long. I feel like I'm a bully now. And I don't
it's true, man. You have to give disclaimers, bro. If like a Down syndrome person's being a prick, bro.
Yeah.
You have to be like, yo, obviously, no disrespect to man's disability and that, but man's a prick, bro.
Yeah, there has to be a big disclaimer, like a massive big disclaimer. I'll do a little roundup at the end and get your guys' thoughts in terms of the players. But Neil Gunner's asking here, and I'll go around the table. And Kanate or Kwanzaa, who starts first game of the season?
Either or, to be fair. I don't think none of them's done themselves a disservice in the last two games. So
who do you start if you had to pick one of the two?
I honestly couldn't care less which one, bro. I'm fine with either. I don't have a player that I'll just choose over either one of them. I think it's fine.
Savage.
Ibu.
Fairs. Jerry. I don't know if he's still there.
Kwanzaa for me. I think it's Kwanzaa for me, man.
I don't know. Fairs. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he is favoured more, but that could all change against Ipswich. For all I know, we might just go with Konate. But I think he suits. I think watching Konate today, and listen, the season is long, so you're going to need Konate regardless. But again, it's that you don't make me feel comfortable in the position that you're in what I need you to do, outside of doing the one thing I know you're really good at, which is he's a really, really good defender. And if I need a rough and tumble type of brother, then he is the guy. If I need someone because we're up against, and I don't even know any super pacey like forwards like that, where you're like, whew, like maybe Ollie Watkins, maybe he's kind of relatively quick, Haaland maybe, then yeah, Konate I feel like would be the guy that you'd want in that position. And Mateta, maybe I want Konate, but against everyone else, I feel like Kwanzaa should be kind of good enough to be able to handle it, man. I think it should be all right. Big up Tofusi saying, so we did, this is the Savage actually, for your comments. That you
I actually explained it while he asked that question, so, you know what I mean? But basically what I was talking about is the part of the back where the build-up play is from the defence is almost identical to Brighton. And then up the top of the pitch, it was just like regular old Liverpool. I mean, you can't, if you identify all the players at the top of the pitch, Tom, you saw them do something different. Salah, Nunez, Jota, did they do anything different?
In terms of what?
Not from what we've seen really before, I guess. No.
Salah, ball, cut in, left foot, try and bring it in the top.
Yeah, true.
He has cut in on the right, try and work it in. Jota does Jota stuff. I didn't see there was not much difference, bro. Apart from Salah passed the ball to the byline when Trent ran past him. Apart from that, it's the same. But
I do think we do a lot more overlapping passes though, especially in the first team, not the second one, because Gakpo didn't want to pass the rubber a few times.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I just said. Trent overlapping, that's the only difference. Because he never does it. But like everything I saw, I always see.
So you're thinking hopefully maybe this season we're going to see less of this inverting thing and more of Trent.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you see the same thing but the boys are clinical, you won't really notice as much, bro, because you'll be happy to score, doesn't it? But when they're not and they're all off it, you're like, oh my God, this is shit. That's why I didn't get when people were cooking Diaz mid-season and that. I was just like, this is what he always does.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. Amphora was asking me, this was actually a good question. Why is praise for the visibly better football we are seeing right now taken as such an insult to Klopp? Starting to think half these men support players, managers, the club itself. Bro, you already know they do. You already know. Like, you knew from when we were having the bad season, when we came fifth. That's when I really knew about how people's loyalties towards the manager is, which, by the way, having loyalties towards the manager is not a bad thing. But I just felt like it was going over the top now. We were actually going overboard to the point where I was like, Jesus Christ, like, you don't even want to say anything, which, for me, I'm always looking at it thinking, the club is what comes first. I couldn't give two shits about who the manager is. It's the club that comes first every single day of the week. But for some reason, it always felt like Klopp comes before the club, or Klopp is the club. So them times when me, Hussam, Jerry, Tom, and whoever were doing the therapy sessions on his channel, like, and joking about like the Pep Linders and stuff like that, going through that kind of period, I honestly, it's like I was just seeing it so much. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, like, it's crazy how people will talk about a manager but will do nothing in terms of, like, say, even, I'm not even saying you have to say a bad word. I'm even just saying, bro, just be honest though. But you don't have to. It doesn't have to even be like you're insulting him, but just be honest at least, because we're all seeing it, bro. We're shit. We were dog shit that whole season, but for some reason, nah, man, Klopp's got this and he's this, that, and the third. It's not his fault, and I'm not even blaming him solely, because at the end of the day, he doesn't play the matches. But that's what really took the biscuit for me. So I think now we're seeing football, I guess, that's probably more catered to certain players within this team, and I think it's catered to players that we haven't seen our football being catered to. Whereas before it was catered more to like the Hendos, the Ginnies, the Fabinhos, the ones who won Premier League and Champions League. Now it's being catered to the, would I say, somewhat like Ryan Gravenberch's, McAllister's, Elliott's, and people of that kind of ilk. I don't know. People maybe just think, I don't know, like they just don't want you to, you know what I mean, slate Klopp or anything like that. And ultimately, you can't slate Klopp because the brother won the Premier League and Champions League. If Klopp doesn't win anything, bruv, then he's shit at it. Like, you know what I mean? So for now, it's just about if you prefer this football, then you prefer this football, man.
Man, people are lazy. People are lazy with the analysis of football. I told you on my channel, I banned his name, bro. After I did the video of him retiring, his name's banned from my channel. Bro.
Oh yeah. Man, really,
and that's for the chat. It's a little bit different with the panel. And I'm like, bro, if you can't mention what's going on without mentioning something prior, and it's just lazy, bro. Because I want to know what do you see going on. If you just say this is different to what Klopp's football was, then it's lazy because you're not going to explain to me what it is. Instead of just explain what's good about what's going on. It's true. And then you are right, bro. You do have the people on the other side where they just can't mention, you know what I mean? They can't. I think them people probably want Slot to fail already, bro, to be honest. Bro.
Yeah. No, they do.
I don't know why, because Klopp's legacy is his legacy now. It's done. Like, you can't take it away from him. It's done.
But remember, it will always, it's you know what it's like? It's like the Nunez conversation. It's like that. It's like the people who really hate him or whatever, you'd rather obviously that he just fail as opposed to, even myself, I don't rate the guy, fair enough, but it's not even I'd want him to fail, because the reality of that is that, bro, if you fail, if the manager puts too much faith in you and you fail, then bro, that means you're fucking up the base for me and my team. So that's not realistically going to do too well. We don't need to do the I told you so's, because bro, we all watch the games. Like, we don't need an I told you so for these kind of things. Like, I feel like we're all intelligent enough to be able to understand. So
that is the point. I feel like if you're giving a good analysis of what you're doing, and I don't have to be personal about the person, I don't understand why. Like, I've seen it now in pre-season. People talking about players and the manager. Bro, I don't need like, oh, yo, come outside now, haters. What are you talking about?
Oh, bro, I hate that stuff.
There's a couple pre-season games, because the likelihood, I know what's going to happen when the season starts, bro. Suppose I was going to whack one in the top corner against Ipswich, and man are going to start coming to my channel. What you saying now? And I'm just going to say the same thing. I never told you we couldn't shoot. I told you couldn't pass the ball 5 yards, bro. I don't hate the people I'm talking about, bro. So I want them to do better in it. That's the reason why I'm mentioning it. So it doesn't really affect when man go, oh, what you saying now? Okay, but then what are you going to say if the next game is not doing the same thing? You're going to turn your back on him, bro? Or you're just going to die on the hill, bro, and then act like nothing happened?
Bro,
it's crazy, bro. The thing is, I know I know as well from the chats and from all of our channels. I know which people are dedicated to some players, bro. Like, I can almost see their face behind the keyboard screwing, like, oh my god, he's mentioned him again. Well, if you do your job properly, I won't have to mention you again.
It's mad. We got G. What do you make of Endo's performance against Las Palmas? Sound or stink? What's a word that's in between sound and stink?
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to find a word that began with S, but fairs, yeah. Okay. Like, it was just that. Like, it was just calm. Reverend, does Zubi go straight in for you, G? No. No player that we sign goes into the team unless it is Musiala. Outside of that, then no player can go straight in so freaking ever. It'll be silly anyway for even if we did sign Zubimendi, I know he played was it like 45 minutes, I think, in this game for Real Sociedad. Ultimately, bro, like, man can't just this isn't like a Haaland situation where I can, you're a striker, you're one of the best strikers, I should be able to just kind of throw you in and let's see what you can do kind of thing. And you don't need maybe that much training, prior. That's a bit different. But someone like him in the position that we're trying to, sign him in as well. And to be fair, what I think you've mentioned it, but other people have spoken about it. Ultimately, if we've already tried all of these combinations in the midfield and we've now seen Gravenberch in there, and we've seen that Gravenberch hasn't stunk like an Endo, for example, it would then be maybe a little bit deep, unless you generally just think, like Zubimendi is the one. It might be deep to start off a season with Zubimendi now, especially if Gravenberch has literally just been here, done the bit of preseason with the team, knows the team, he's playing all right there. You don't really have any questions to be like, oh no, Gravenberch can't play there. So yeah, I think it'll be bad management if we probably went that route. And we don't really move. We're not Chelsea, remember. We don't move in that kind of way with our players and stuff like that. So
it's a weird one, man. I know it's off topic, yeah, but
no,
I ain't gonna lie, blood. I said this last season, and I don't know if City, the worrying, yeah, because obviously they sold Alvarez and they ain't brought anyone else in with that money in it. And I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to, bruv. But they can. Because I'm not joking.
Maybe a bench player, maybe. I don't know.
The impressive thing is, I swear to you, bro, Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob are not random little youths, bro. These men can do everything already, bro. Like,
it's done. Oscar Bob, Jesus Christ, bro.
I think from an attack, I think maybe one more attacker just to kind of store it up a bit. Where cup games, you know what I mean, there's someone there. Or maybe an extra league game where you're like, oh, Haaland rescue today. But
you can tell that like Man City players, the youth have always had the same coach with, because they all dribble the same. Palmer, Oscar, but they've all got that Foden. They got that silky dribble, bro. And that ball is stuck to Oscar Bob's foot, bro.
Bro, I told you, bro. Us left footers, man, it just looks better. I'm telling you.
Oh, you're right. Don't put yourself in there with Oscar. Man said me, Oscar Bob, Van Persie, Robin. We're all the same, bro.
Yo. Man,
footers. That's what you said, bro. Man said us
because I am also left-footed. Like, you know, the Jack Wilshere, you know, we're all the same. Anyways, you're gonna say, does Darwin suit this system? I gotta ask, in what position? I would say, I think you would go into the season anyway. He's gonna start with Jota because he's been back. But he's gonna need a bit more time if he's going to adjust to the system. That's probably what I'll say. Just because I do think that Jota suits it better because of his overall play. I thought that maybe like with Nunez, I thought like we would utilize that good movement, but I almost feel that you don't necessarily need that in this forward line in terms of it doesn't need to be as good as what Nunez can do, which is he has got really good movement. I will definitely say that. I feel like Jota's got good enough movement. He's someone who can drop deep. He's comfortable dropping deep. He's comfortable, you know, laying the ball off and all of that kind of stuff about his game. I feel like Slot would rather use that than use Nunez. But again, like I said, Nunez could adapt his game, potentially change it up a little bit to become more accustomed. And then all of a sudden now you've got someone who can do that as well. So let's just wait and see. I think
I think there's two parts to it, isn't it? Because obviously in the first game you could see Diaz and Salah, the way that they were moving. It made life just even better, and then Jota just doing what he does as well. But Nunez had Doak on one side and Gakpo on one side. Doak played well to an extent. Gakpo was in and out of the game. So that's the context. You get 45 minutes, you ain't even played in the system yet. So I wasn't even expecting him to do well. I think it's just down to the other stuff. You know, that controlling the ball. You know, you laying it off. Spinning. No, I think for anyone, I think you should have looked out for that more than whether he scored a goal or not.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying we are, but I'm just saying I think that's.
Oh yeah.
For me, when I said that second game, I wrote down all the players and I wrote down the points for the first half and second half for me, what I wanted to kind of see. And for him, yeah, he's not going to start the season, obviously not. Can you rely on him at one point of the season? Possibly, because by then he would have probably understood what the manager wants from him. But yeah, I'm not going to just throw him in the bin straight away. He wasn't good, don't get me wrong, but there was bits where I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. But I'm not going to just throw him in the bin and then later in the season when he's scoring goals and whatever, if that's the case, all of a sudden now he's your brethren again. Like, let's just see how it goes this season, bro. And then at the end of it, if he's not good, get rid of him.
It's going to be interesting to see if Slot plays Jota and Nunez the same.
I don't think he will,
so that's my thing. That's my thing. You can't play them the same.
Nah, because if you watch that first game, I seen when we had the ball, Shimikas had it. I seen Jota drop into the left side.
Yeah,
and Diaz was drifted over. But when Nunez plays, it's all around the same area still.
Look how deep Jota is in this game, bro. Look, that's the center circle, bro. I don't see Nunez doing that.
Nah.
But the thing is, I'm not mad at it though. It's just that
No.
obviously it's gonna take us a while because like Aguero and Dzeko didn't play the same. They play completely different. So it just depends. Like it's weird for Nunez because he's not overly tall. He's a tall guy. He looks like he'd be a target man, innit? But no one uses him like that. And they use Jota as a target man. Like they use Jota to hold the ball up at the edge of the halfway line and bring man into play, but they don't use Nunez to do it.
No.
But then they use Nunez to try and run him back. It's weird, that's crazy.
You see in that first game, like especially a few of the passes Trent made, I feel like you would have seen him in a better moment where you could probably go, okay, I can see it because of the way Trent was playing and Mo was playing. You get more out of him that way, but for this team,
honestly, like me.
As who said the rondo? It was literally a rondo.
Yeah,
bro. It was literally just rondo. If you was expecting them to do some madness in that one, now I think you had to just isolate and pick different things, like what the weaknesses and the frailties of the players. That you go, right? Can Ibu play at the back? Does he look comfortable on the ball? Robbo, can he play? Can he do the overlapping? Is he still got that? Certain things you'd look for. Can Elliot and Harvey, if we're playing in the cup game, can they play together in the team? Can Wataru take the ball on the half turn? What is he like in possession? Those things that we want to see. And I think that's what you then take away from the game and you go, right, all right, not say better team, because obviously the team we say fill are more fringe and a few of them under, but Nunez playing with Diaz and Salah makes a massive difference in him playing with Doak and Gakpo. And that's but Gakpo wasn't in the game enough to affect him, to then help him out. And it's better with McAllister and whoever you're saying, even if we get Zaya Zubimendi, it's better for another player in the midfield. You get the better out of them as well, because then, these players are more cultured and what they want to do.
Yeah, I feel like Nunez play better against, like, it's weird. They play better against like Spurs and Villa. They use that high line. You play the ball in behind. You ain't catching.
Yeah, because he ain't catching.
But it's good, man. No, honestly, it's good. We got a good squad, bro. Good squad.
Can't wait to do the Premier League predictions, but Neil, can't wait for that. No, we went through that already. I think that was all the questions. Anyway, no, honestly here. Question for the panel: are we as fans nowadays too agenda-driven and to focus on stats instead of watching the game first and then you analyze the game?
We is French and you're in blood, so don't we knock him, bro. That's honesty who always posted the stats in the group. That's a bold statement. Look.
I think it's more of a question based on. I want to say what Jerry said. I think that's where this question stems from. Honestly, let me know if I'm incorrect or not. Because obviously he said he didn't watch the game, but he went to stats. So I presume that's where the question stems from. Yes and no. So I think yes. We do look at a lot of stats and it helps a part of the game, but also from the eye test, he wasn't good today. If we would say Nunez, he wasn't good today, but there were certain things I was like, okay, if you put this into with the better quality around you, can you do better? Yes. But saying, obviously, Jerry said 60% passing accuracy. Hey, listen, man, there's less strikers with less than that and scores 3-4 goals, bro. Sometimes that's how it is. I don't need my strikers to have a high passing percentage. I just need you to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yes, that's true. Because before Jerry mentioned the 60%, that wasn't one of the things I brought up about how he played. It wasn't his passing. It wouldn't
be anything I cared about.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's why, like, a lot of the things, the stuff that you probably want stats for, that stats don't give you on it. So then I just leave it. What's the point, then, bro? You know what I mean? Even like someone gives an assist and that, but there's always a pass before it, and the passes before it's probably better than the assist, bro. Probably broke the line and everything, but it doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, man, it's one of them, bro. Like, listen, I think I figured it out now anyway. Especially, don't get me wrong, there's people our age who do the same thing as well, but usually, from what I've seen, it's a younger crowd with the stats, and it ain't their fault. That's what they've grown up on. They've grown up on. By the time they were all like 10 and they've seen that Messi and Ronaldo had this many goals and this many. That's what they've grown up on. So it's safe, isn't it? It's one of them ones, bro.
Nah, man. Listen, man. Messi, Ronaldo, they messed up how we even look at stats and stuff like that.
Because everyone's gonna go. Because obviously they're gonna go. The stats is a fact, and I'm like, but it's a fact in what the stat is. But the stats, there's no stats for who is a better person or who played better in that game. So the best movie in the box office isn't your favorite movie. I already know it's not because I know you and Ends. It's not you.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's definitely not. Yeah.
Exactly. But man are gonna tell you that blood, this is better than Endgame. I'm like, what? It's not.
It's not. don't let me fight you, bro. It's definitely not.
Big up, guys.
That's actually kind of mad when I think about stuff. When you put the analogy like that, I'm like, that's mad because technically it should be right, but
yeah,
it's not.
It should be.
It's not. I'm gonna answer this one. Honestly, saying, is it me or Bradley? Decision making isn't that great. I can't lie. That's one thing when I think about Bradley. I'm like, I'd never thought he had good decision making though. I just always thought like he's very off the cuff. Like if it needs to be, if he doesn't need to think about it, he'll put the ball into the box or he'll make that pass or he'll do whatever it is he needs to do. But if he needs time to think about that kind of next action, I've always thought, yeah, no, he's not. That's not really his game kind of thing. Like to me, what he reminds me of is he's like Gary Neville. He's like that type of defender. Like they're just bog standard, but they're good at being bog standard fullback, up and down, not good at crossing, but they're okay at it enough to try it every now and again. Football IQ is okay, like you know what I mean? Like he's just one of those kind of players, man. Like, but solid enough that you could probably put him in, but it's difficult when I'm then comparing him to the other right back we've got, who is some past demon. Like it might be a little bit unfair. In another team, he might work to be a solid fullback, but I know he couldn't play in like a Brighton team or like a Man City team. Like, I just think it just wouldn't even work with someone like him because the way that they play, he can't really play that kind of ball.
Honestly, I want to ask: is it more overall, or is it when he's in midfield, or when he get in the final third? Because I feel like when he's in the midfield, he makes great decisions in terms of the passes he makes and picking the right passes.
I agree.
And then situational, does he shoot when he should pass? I don't know, because even today, like watching him today, he got into a good area, he got the shot away. Then there was one he tried to dribble through the team when he got into the box. I don't think there was a moment where he could have got shot away there. But in the midfield area, I think he's been calm, bro. Like, so I don't know, honestly, which part are you talking about? The final third? Maybe.
If I was going to pick, I'd pick the final third because I think he doesn't. I don't think he shoots when he should pass. I just think he doesn't pass when he should pass sometimes. But he's always running at full. He plays like Robbo on the other side, and so he's running at full speed. Like it always looks like Trent's decision making is better. But is it? Because when Trent's doing them Hollywood balls to nobody, bro, that's not a better decision. It's just that he's not running at top speed when he does it, bro. So it doesn't look messy. But I get what if he's fine. I'm with you, and if it's final third, then yeah, to me it makes sense. But in the midfield and back, no, it seems fine, bro.
Yeah, makes the right. It's always a good pass as well. Like there's never a time when I'm like, ooh.
Is it a good pass in terms of he's had the time to think about it, or it's snapshot decisions like that's the only pass he can make anyway, so he's going to make that pass because he can make that pass?
In the final third, I would agree slightly with that because I feel like you just have to make a decision there. But when he's been in the midfield, whether it's a snap decision, whether it's he's got time on the ball, he makes the right decisions, I would say 9 times out of 10. There's never a moment when I'm like, oh, it's been dispossessed. Like you go, come on, Bradley, what are we doing there? And it's like a continuation or continuous thing that happens. And I'd never equate him to that type of thing. It's a 1-2 missing, or he lays it in, or he drives inside, or he's won the ball and he's played a 1-2 and he's carried it into midfield reverse. He's always thinking, but in that final third, whether it's you played him on the overlap and then he picks his head up, there's always a moment when I'm like, is it the movement or is it him not making the decision? Either you clip it in, put it across the face, pull it back. But yeah, not in the midfield or defense, bro. I can't agree with that part.
No, feel you. This is why, guys, we are a bunch of opinions, right? A bunch of opinions. So whatever you guys want it to believe, that's what it is, man. I'll ask you both this. If you had to pick a second choice instead of Zubimendi and you had to pick a choice, who would it be?
It's Edison, but it's not my second choice. It's my first choice. But yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah, to be fair, you have said Edison for a minute.
Edison.
Where are you in?
Edison now, bro.
Edison. I'll go with. It's mad because I don't even really want any of them. I'll just say Fofana for the sake of it, just to see Fofana here.
You know what it is though? Like looking at the team now, boys. Yeah, this is probably my question instead.
No, please do that.
I'm looking at the team and I'm like, all right, you can see that with our formation, right? When we attack, it's a 4-2-4. When we defend, it's a 4-4-2. But there's always two guys making sure they're in the midfield when we don't have the ball. One you'd say is like, I'm trying to see how we use McAllister and Gravenberch there, or how we've been using the two. One is like, come short turn, keep it simple. Gravenberch was doing that today, turning, and then trying to play forward progressive pass. And then McAllister was like, and he was at the game a lot today, to be fair. But normally he would be the one that's probably stringing that pass, or that pass before the final pass, or, the assist before the assist, or something along those lines. I'm looking at, like, obviously Zubimendi is a player that, we want to get. I'm like, which one of the midfield is he coming in to do? Is he going to be the one like what Gravenberch was doing, or is he going to be doing what McAllister will be doing? And that's where I think that's where you pick the you want in the team. Because I know a lot of people want Zubimendi now, and I'm not going to dispute it. I think he's a good player, but I want to know, what one is he coming in to do? Because you can't do both. He's not going to just do both. And I don't think we're going to play, he comes in and he's lone six. Not in my opinion. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like there's always going to be two players. We might start off with him in the six. I feel like when we start defending and the system rotates, I feel like it's always going to be a double pivot in there. But what is he coming in to do? Because then you pick the midfield based on that midfielder that you'd want to come in.
I think, in answer to that question, in terms of which one would he do, I think it would just be like what Gravenberch did today. I think he does that, but just at a higher, a more efficient, higher level kind of thing. So if just in that regards, but when you man then say Ederson, like. You know me, man. Like, I always love to learn about players a bit more, and I really haven't done too much research on Ederson, just small. And to be fair, I'm more listening to both of you who have said it more than anything, so I'm taking your word for it. But what is it that he adds that you think? Let's say we don't get Zubimendi. Why is it him? And to be fair, Savage, you said that's your first choice, but why Zubimendi though? Like, sorry, why Ederson? Sorry, like what is he going to bring to the team that you think, man, we actually need that in the team?
I think he's a lot more. By the way, I think on the ball and off the ball, he's a lot more robust than any of our players in midfield. He's a lot stronger than them. He's aggressive in his tackle, but fair with it, but aggressive in it as well. Without being too tall, he adds a lot of presence in the midfield, bro. Like, you don't really want to try to go through where he is and that. Like, I don't think you kind of avoid where he's at, bro. You wouldn't be trying to run through that point. You ain't getting past him like that. So, and he carries the ball very well. He's good at passing the ball. He carries the ball very well. He's got a bit more flair to him. I mean, depending on how you see flair, and obviously he's Brazilian compared to the Spanish silky side and that. So, I think, and his work rate second to none, bro. So I'm not expecting him to get tired in the game and that, bro. He's on it, bro, from minute 1 to minute 90, bro. And obviously, remember, I was saying Zubimendi's praises as well. So it's not like.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked.
He's just my first choice. But I'll be honest, a lot of it, apart from what I just said, comes down to the preference of player. And the fact that, if you was going to pick, like, is the players that play more towards how Zubimendi plays already, or more towards Ederson? It's Zubimendi. There's no one plays like Ederson in our team already. So that's more the reason. I mean, because he doesn't play DM on his own either. He doesn't play in the lone six. He plays the centre midfield. So
that was the thing as well, though, Sav, innit? Because when obviously you mentioned the player, innit, up to me about him, and he's like, no, that's the guy we should go and get. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. But then, and then obviously mentioned we had conversation. It was like, he's not really a 6. And I'm like, okay, so the way that our wants to play is we're not playing with like a 6. It's always like 2 in there. So I'm like, he would be perfect. And the key reason why I think he would be better, but obviously yet to see, because I don't know. Zubimendi can come in and do it. Those, how do I explain it? Those moments here when we should win the ball, but we don't win the ball, when we have enough players there. And it feels like we put a foot in to win it, but we don't win it. And then it's not a chance they end up getting, but it's like.
No, I know what you're talking about. We saw it today. Remember when I said, rush that guy, and 4 man ran on him, and they needed to let him get out.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like he would be, once we go in there, we're coming out with the ball and we're playing and we're counter-attacking. I don't know if Zubimendi can do that. seen some of his game, he can put his foot in and stuff, but I feel like he's more of a controlling, deep line playmaking style that can put a foot in if needs be. But I want to see, because those are the little moments, because as I said, I look at football in so much detail, bro. Those are the little things I'm like, when we're playing against the Arsenals and the Man City, when we do have the chance to kind of rush a player and we still allow him to get out, and all of a sudden now there's a ball over to the left and Grealish is now 1v1, or there's a ball over to the right and Bernardo is one. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, bro, we should have just won that ball, man. Why didn't we just win that ball? Because people are putting foot in, but then no one's winning the ball. So that's where I feel like he would be better suited in this system with the two, because it's not a lone six, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer him there.
I agree.
No, I was literally just looking at his heat map. I said, oh, let me just show everybody so they can kind of have a little idea as to what Ends and Savage is talking about. Because he gets about. I can tell you this from last season. He's clearly
acne football, bro.
Yeah, literally, like he is someone who does get about stats wise. I mean, forget the goal, don't care about that. Passes, expected assists, big chances created. Defending makes 1.1, 2.3 tackles per game, recovers 5.2 balls per game, barely dribble passes per game, which is actually really good. To the fact that it's under one, per game. Bearing in mind he's played. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it's mad. Considering he's played that was in 36 matches, so he's not really getting dribble past at all. So yeah, I mean, listen, I'll listen. You know me, man. I always want to do more research on some of these players because you guys have spoken about him so much here, and I start sitting there thinking, well, what's man missing though? You know what I mean? Like, what's man missing about this guy that man are willing to say nah to Zubimendi? Because obviously when we look, if I show you guys here, when we look at today's game, see the position Gravenberch is in? That's the position. Are you saying, so you man are saying, calm, Edison, that position, that number 38 right there, no worries.
But this is what I'm saying though. You see, like where Mac is, and I was saying that he's like the pass before the pass. So I'm asking, where is it? Because if you're asking where Zubimendi's coming in to do, is he coming in to do what Gravenberch is doing here? But if that's what you want, then I'll be like, nah, man, Edison will do there. And then you could put Zubimendi where McAllister is as well. And you'd still get that silky, because we saw it in there, obviously, can't really, I don't want to use that as a game, but the England game, you saw a lot of times he was up in those spaces, bro, winning the ball and playing it forward. And he was like the pass before the final pass, or the pass before the final take on or cross. But I'm like, who, that's why I asked, what is he coming in to do in the team? Because he has to be different to or better than what someone else is doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Coming in just to take the ball on a half turn and keep it simple. I'm not saying obviously that he can probably do it better than most of the players we have. I'm like, all right, cool. Like how important is it, and how many teams are we going to play that's going to massively make the difference in there? But what I have noticed is, and I'm not saying it will be against everyone, it's just that moment when we go to put our foot in, I don't know, bro. It just feels like we not all the time, but these key moments, bro, and these key moments and these little things in the season, bro, could cost us. So I don't know. It's one of those things. I'd rather someone a bit more steel, a bit more grit in there, but can play. Yeah. Not necessarily he's going to sit in there on his own. It's just going to be like, when we go to do, when McAllister drops back into the double pivot, which you saw a lot today, because when we attack, we do 4-2-4. When we defend, we go into a 4-4-2. You could see it, bro, when we attack. And then when the goalkeeper has the ball, you notice we leave like 3 or 4 forward. And when the team presses, that's why their midfielders always looking around to go, so you man ain't going to come back to mark us or come back to get into a space for a pass. We're like, no, you man go and press. Because as soon as you press and you open up that gap and we can't play it out, we're going to go long into Mo or long into Jota or whoever it is. They're going to just knock it down to the oncoming midfielder and we're going to get out that way. But I just need a player that's going to put his foot in and make
He definitely will put his foot in. Zubimendi definitely put his foot in. 100%. He's the skill set that you want Wataru to have. He's already got that. Wataru's a bit slow to it, and that you can see what you want Wataru to do, or that he's going to do it sometimes, especially when he picks up the ball. Everything that me and you and one was in the back office going on are saying to you, like he's a safety player, he's going to keep playing the ball back. You can see the gaps. Zubimendi is not going to turn around and pass the ball backwards. He's going
Nah,
through,
he's not.
and he might dribble through there as well, bro.
'Cause I did see his progressive passing, Zubamendi's. He's quite high, to be fair. In terms of, he does play the ball forward quickly as well. But yeah, no, it's just that in it. I just wanted to know, in terms of, because everyone's saying put him in there, but I don't need two players that keep dropping for the ball all the time. One can do it, one can then stay slightly higher based on what I've seen we're doing. But if he's the guy that's going to do it at the top level, then perfect.
Yeah.
But I also need to see those moments when we go to crowd players. I don't want to see we putting a foot in and no one has that bite, because I've seen the combination and no one has that.
I'm surprised.
He's losing out some of those little ones. I'm like,
I'm surprised that's not on them Zubamendi compilations, bro. Because man, he tackles, bro. He's in there.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm very.
He does, but I think maybe because his game isn't necessarily about it. So you know how these compilations are, man. Like they're only really gonna show. That's why I only follow like a few people in terms of their comps in what they show, because they go into actual specifics. Like they'll talk about on the ball, off the ball, passing, defending, heading, all of that kind of stuff. So they're the best ones to watch. But most of these ones that we see, most of the ones you're seeing on X, I promise you, it's a 2-minute comp of most of them is of the England game. But if it's not the England game, it's of like one game he's had for Real Sociedad where he's probably lighted it up.
The ones I keep seeing are not what he plays like most of the time. Like it's not.
Yeah. It's true. So listen, man, I don't know, man. The thing is, it's mad because you're both making good points, and the reason why I asked you guys this is because I also wanted everyone else to kind of think before we get to, and I'm not saying don't, by the way, because we've been starving as it is for a signing, but I just didn't want people to overestimate or overrate, should I say, Zubamendi to the point where they start believing that, oh my goodness, because we've got Zubamendi, we should be winning the league. So if we don't, it's almost, I know, but that's what I'm worried about. Hence why I asked, obviously, Enz and Savage will always say it regardless, they'll be honest anyway. But I always feel like that's why I was a little bit Enz. I told you the other day, I was trying to call you when you was busy the other day when we found out that we was even in for Zubamendi, and we was just after that conversation that we had, me, you, Savage, and Zapiri about the whole Zabozalai thing. And the reason why was because I actually sat there in that evening for 2 hours, didn't go to bed till 3, and I started watching the compilations and I started watching the videos, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, Enz might have had a point slide, like a small point, in what he was trying to say. So then I started thinking, is it really the midfielder that man really needs to buy? For us to be able to move forward, especially in that midfield area, is that the one? I don't mind you signing him, and this is why I said to you, I don't mind you signing him and an Edison. I feel like if you get both, okay, now we got
that's
best
where
of both worlds.
Get stupid, bro, because they just won't do it, and we should.
Yes,
they're not going to be both. They're not going to break 100 mil for both of them.
Oh yeah, no.
You're saying we need, okay, at this present moment in time, you're saying we need one anyway, right? So
yeah.
What, and you're right, sir. I think we should, but I know we won't. But you're going to buy Zubamendi anyway, sell Ouattara and then buy Edison. You're still in the same position that you were in.
Yeah.
But you've made the team even better now. So now when you're like, I'm going to run Edison for this one, but then I can bring him off and put on this man, or do you know what I mean? Vice versa, bro.
Yeah, they don't even have to not play at the same time, bro. If they can, because when Edison plays with Koopman as in midfield, he's fine, bro. The problem I got is, I know I keep saying that, I'm not trying to bore man on that, bro. But the reason I keep going back to no one's wrong in what they're saying if you're talking about what you want for the team, bro. But it ain't about that. So it's always going to be about Slot, bro. And I'm trying to figure him out before I start making hasty comments to what we should do, because obviously he's clearly better in his job than I am. He's the manager, he's the coach. You know what I mean? So it's like we can see stuff, but I cannot shake the fact that whether man like it or not, you do have a preconceived idea based on previous football we've had at the club. It ain't all on pre-season. So when everyone wants a certain player, you are naturally going back to what we've seen before with Liverpool. It's a different Liverpool. It's a different manager, different coach, different coaching staff. So it's easier for us fans because we don't have the pressure on it of giving him time, and that's like whatever in it. But for him, I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do because even like we've dropped. I think we've gone back and forth with. He's going to play a lone six. No, he's going to play a double pivot. He's going to play a lone six. No, he's going to play. And then they asked him about the six in the press conference and he made it sound like he's going to play just a six. And I'm just like, bro, but that's not what I've seen. And you just play 2 separate games and 2 separate games. You done 2 separate things, bro.
Do you know what it is though, Xavier? You see with that, I'll clock you because even with, you know, when they said, who told you that I played this year? But then we've seen it in the games, bro. But it's like he doesn't want to give away stuff because for a manager, no manager is going to say, I'm going to play a lone six. They're like, shit, Liverpool are going to play the lone six. He's going to, do you know what I mean? No one wants to give away stuff. I know I'm not saying we need to read between the lines. I'm not saying none of that stuff. I'm just saying, as a manager, it would be crazy to think that every time you get asked a question from a tactical standpoint, you're going to go, yes, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Do you know what I mean? It'll be mad, bro. So you're just going to tell the world what we're about to do, bro. So I think he just kind of leaves you in that loop where you're like, we're going to play with a lone six. But then you realize, we have someone that's going to be more disciplined sitting around there. But no, when we defend, we're not going to just have a lone six. Because when you mention lone six, we all think, I'm not saying we, but in general, Fabinho sitting in there in front of the back line. We've got
2 different formations.
Do you know what I mean? But I've noticed that even with a 6 in there, you still done the double pivot thing, bro. There's still, when we defend, they're defending like this. So I don't know. If I was going to go off what we looked the most comfy on so far, comfortable, whether the execution was there or not, is when we had the 2 in the pivot and then the 10. The 10 seemed to have all this freedom and that, which was Harvey most of the time, but I think you can slot any different player into that spot. And it makes sense for the opposition we're going to have, because then obviously if you go into a low block and that, there's certain things that you don't need, bro. There's certain players that you don't need as well. You know what I mean? They don't fit it. So, I don't know, man. We'll see, though. You know what I mean? I guess it's intriguing. Yeah, it's intriguing, man. I'm not like one of these people that's scared of changing that, because the change has already happened, whether you like it or not. So, I'm intrigued by it and that, bro. I'm actually one of the people now that, like, fucking hell, if you're going to sign someone, sign it and shut the transfer window now, bro. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, it's annoying now. Like, the season starts next week, bro. It's all done with, bro.
I don't
care, bro. Like, I don't even care about. I promise you, bro. Once we play Ipswich, I don't even care about the transfer window. I know it's not closed, but I don't care about it because in my head, it's the Prem, and you can't afford to fall behind the tool in it. So if you play the first game and lose to Ipswich, don't talk to me about no transfers, bro. Just forget about it. Just let me enjoy it.
As big up, Carmen, and by the way, bless man for the super chat, man. Much appreciated, bro. Just before we get your thoughts, and then guys, like I said, we'll head out in 10 minutos. Just quickly, real quick question: if you had to choose Cole or Inacio, who would you choose?
Inacio.
Who? Inacio and who?
Cole, Chelsea.
I'm gonna say reluctantly. I'm gonna say Cole. And the only reason I'm going Cole is because that's the person that's the person I've seen play football matches, bro. I've probably seen like 2 Inacio whole games, bro. And I weren't that impressed. It was just decent, but yeah, Cole will have seen more games. I don't even like Cole like that.
I agree with you, Savage.
Yeah.
The devil that you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, better the devil that you know. But Carl, man, chat to us, man. Chat to us, bro. Obviously, we had the 2 games today. Give us like your full test.
I kind of just watched the second game because after the first game I kind of went to church. So
okay.
I was doing that thing, but I love the first game. I think the first game was very exciting. Very impressive. I thought we played well. We controlled the game. It felt easy, but it was good work. It was good, easy. It was just it had a moxie. It had something you like, a good feeling. You like, you know what? I don't know if we're going to succeed, but at least it's not coming with bad vibe, bad feeling. You don't have a bad feeling about the manager. You feel like, hey, you know what? I guess I can trust him. I can trust him enough to do something in the Premier League or get started. You know, you don't feel like you've given the job to the wrong person. You're like, okay, we might hired the right person. We just don't know if they're gonna succeed yet, if they're gonna have the result. and that's how I felt about the game, and that's how I've been feeling about preseason. That we possibly got the right guy. We just don't know if if he's going to succeed. Um, um
Mm.
a
Mhm.
When we're looking at it tactically, what he was doing, it was very interesting. Just like Savage said, the dude is very weird. I don't know if he's doing the thing where he don't he keeps saying things that never happen it actually happened in the game. He's just saying things to throw you off. Like you're like, what? What's going on? Like that's not what we saw. Like, is there something you see we're not seeing or we don't understand about football or about your game? And it's just a bit weird. But maybe it's a tactic. Maybe it's some way to throw people off of his tactic. I
Mm.
love the fact that he's very tactical. He's always changing. He's always thinking about how to get better and at any moment. And he's always coaching. I like that about him. I'm very impressed with Brendan Birch. And also I am every single game we're looking at it and then we're seeing why they want Zumendi. And I know Anza is still don't see it, but
Mhm.
I think after those games, after Las Palmas, you could kind of see why we need a defensive midfielder like him. It just I
I
think
think
he
that's I don't think you can
just
use the Las
control.
Palmas game. I don't think you can use the Las Palmas game, bro. Because I had less of the first team players in there. If you told me
No,
that we needed a
what
six
I'm
from
saying
the
is that in
Seville
terms of
game,
backup, like
then I'll say yeah.
we lacking in people who can actually do the job. Like the only Jones is not tidy enough to do this job. The only person we'll find that is tidy enough is Gravenberch. We don't have anybody enough.
McAllister.
We can't give it to Endo. Um, and that's why I think I think that's if we don't get Zubimendi by sometimes throughout the week, he's gonna start that midfield that we just saw against Sevilla. A we're gonna start with Gravenberch, a Soboslai, and McAllister, and I like it, but I just don't know if it's I just don't know if I can trust Gravenberch to be focused enough to do the job for 30 weeks, for 38 weeks, or even for a month. I just don't know if I can trust him. I think I'm just afraid of eh, of him not being consistent enough. Uh, and that's it. But in terms of if I had to say young player, and then let's just say we just brought Gravenberch to do this job, I'll be like, you know what? It might work. But the thing is that we've seen Gravenberch for a year, and then one of his biggest issue is consistency, a want, aggression, and sometimes he looks too cool on the ball, um, too passive in certain action. So if we saw Gravenberch that we saw for the last
Is
2 weeks,
Carl, quick one. Is
yeah,
that what you saw in the last two games he's played in the six or the double pivot, whatever people want to use it as?
could you speak louder for us?
I said, is that what you saw in the last two games Gravenberch played in the six? That he wasn't strong and he looked
Like
like
so
lost.
from what I've seen, I am okay with the performance. I'm good with performance. I'm good with the performance.
But you don't want
I
to.
think he's elevated his game to a level that is good enough. It's not great yet. It's not great consistently good, but it's a he grows into games. He grows into games. He grows into the level. He does the right thing, and I think that's what I'm happy about. Like he's making the right decision, and he's disciplined. He's also very disciplined. I didn't think he had that in his game, but I see him being disciplined.
All right, fair
No,
enough.
man.
No, I just wanted to know. Just wanted to know what you thought.
All I know is, I was just about to say that. Just give my captain a contract and then start the foolishness. But
Bigger ends, man. He just sent me literally just see this now. Obviously, listen, man, the captain's saying, yo, long season and that. So I think we should be making some signings. Do you know what I mean? I think he looked at it as well, and he definitely would understand, because ultimately he's been here for a minute. He understands the Premier League. He knows how grueling it can be. And without sounding rude and without being, you know what I mean, shady, he also understands the quality of players he's got and the ones he's coming up against. He obviously looks at the situation and thinks, the reality is we do need some more players. Like, we do need more quality. We can't keep going into seasons and man are saying, yeah, no, don't worry, man, we've got Conor Bradley. Oh, we've got Konza. Oh, we've got Kyle Gordon. Oh, we've got Ben Doak. Oh, we've got Pro. Okay, if we keep using these guys, at some point in time, guess what? We're going to fall off in terms of the quality, because
he was tired himself, bro. He said that in the last.
I can imagine. How old is Virgil?
33.
30,
yeah, 33.
33. Yeah. Come on, like this is what for, and you see stuff like this, by the way, because I can already see the YouTube caption. I already know what's coming next. But stuff like this are what the FSG outers are going to be all about. This stuff like this is like this is the fuel that they need for them to be able to light that fire, like, because the reality is when your captain is saying, and they're going to take this out of context, by the way, as well. It's going to be completely like, listen, man, our captain's pissed off that we haven't got any signings in. He wants FSG out as well. He's already made the call that FSG need to leave the football club because, you know, we're not signing players and etc. etc. It kind of just fuels the agenda that's around. So, listen, the transfer window is not over. I know, Savage, you say you don't really care because, you know, once the season starts, it starts.
And the problem is, it's not even an FSG thing, bro. They employ people to do a job, bro. So they don't have to, because they're not footballing people. I'm fed up with this shit, bro. Like, yes, everyone's like, well, it starts from the top. Rigman, has anyone ran a business before? I employed man to do the job properly, innit? Yeah, I might tell you there's a budget there. They ain't going to tell the public. But clearly, Slot's not moaning about it because he's saying, if it's the right person, bro. We've heard that before.
The news came back in, bro. Well,
yeah, it's got to be the right person. So that means they've seen man on the market, the shoes and all that, man. There's all the talk about. Just big man. Sign the man, bro. If they don't,
Savages sounding.
No, because if Virgil just said, "Oh yeah, you know, we're still talking in contract stuff," then safe in it. But man said, "Nah, bro. Like, there's no changes at the moment. They ain't offered me anything, bro." Kind of foolishness.
Sam, but what did people say, bro? They said Edwards and them, man, that when players get to a certain age, they said they were ruthless and we got rid of them and we don't want it Klopp. So
that's what I said. That's what I said when Klopp was ruthless. And man were coming in, I told man, these Edwards youths are going to come in and get rid of Virgil and Salah, bro. I said that, bro. I said, I know, because I know they wanted to get rid of Mane and Salah early, blood. I know it, bro. I said, bro, that's fine if that's what you're going to do, because I can't change it, bro. But just do it then, innit?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, let's go buy the
option where they extend contract at the end of the transfer window. Isn't it that more prudent to do? After you
potentially they can still do that.
He's saying wait, when we don't sign no one, then we start Virgil sign a new deal and the PR stuff. He's saying we're waiting.
You could do that. Biggest issue is that these men don't talk. They don't explain what they're doing. There's no news information of what's happening at the club. It is sometimes praise it, but we also got to live with the consequences of that. We don't know what these men are thinking. Like,
if the players have signed the contract already, if they signed the contract already, and they're going to wait for the transfer window to announce it, safe in it. But Virgil didn't say that. He said,
"Yeah, I don't think it's that type of situation."
So, like, the fact they ain't offered him anything, that now you've given man enough time to start thinking, bro. You ain't offering me nothing. I'm gonna start thinking, bro. And now he said that, bro. Everyone else heard him say that today as well. All the other clubs. So good luck with that shit. And I know what Real Madrid's on, bro. They're out here just running.
Hey, bro, I think you better go away, bro.
No, but I'm being serious, bro. If anyone knows what the new Real Madrid tactic is, they'll just sniff around when you got a year left. Let's just start bothering you, and then they don't buy you, bro. And they go, just run your contract down. You come for free, innit? They got Mbappe for free, bro. People realize that for free, bro. Bro, listen, man. It's one
when they want, if they want to do something,
they did spend money. They did spend a lot of money to pay him up. They pay,
Bro, free
you know,
transfer.
Oh, the signing
a
on
lot of
bonus
signing
thing.
bonus, a lot of that. They did spend some money.
Yeah, I don't care about that. You don't. We're not gonna move the goalpost because Mbappe. A free transfer is a free transfer, bro. That's it.
Oh, come on, Savage. You know
Your
that's
club
not
didn't receive
necessarily
money
true,
for him, bro.
but we talk about Real Madrid spending money. They did spend money to get him at the club.
Well, I'm a Liverpool fan
to
too,
sign
bro.
him.
So if it's a free transfer, then yeah, all the signing bonus for Virgil and his agent, but Liverpool get nothing, bro. That's my whole point. So it's all right, man. It's all right because if you have to ask me, I want to sign Zubimendi, Ederson, flipping Rodri. I don't care, bro. If you're gonna sign them or not sign Virgil to a new contract, bro, I'll just sign Virgil to a new contract, bro. Because you want a new midfielder and then have no Virgil. Great. See how much of a difference that makes, bro.
You know them oxymorons and that. Like,
Yeah, bro. It's crazy.
the views don't even make sense. Like,
Is this Hughes? Is this Richard Hughes? It stinks, bro. You've been given a job. Do the fucking job properly, bro. Man come from Bournemouth, you know, bro. Not even a high level and that to think you can come to Liverpool and take the piss, bro.
Yeah, this is where I agree with you. It's like, how long does it take to talk to a man who you see every day? You see every day at the practice field, and then just talk to the man and his agent. Hey, how long does it take to do all those things? Like, it feels like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I told you, man,
it
at the
does feel
beginning
that
of the
way.
stream, bro. In between the Euros, Virgil signed to Snoop Dogg, bro. And these man still ain't signed Virgil. Make it make sense, bro. He signed to Gin and Juice and ain't even met Snoop Dogg, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
It feels like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing at the club? Is this some kind of a spa thing you're doing over there? You know, are you running a spa thing? Like, it feels like they're not doing their job.
Someone told me that the man them are ruthless. He's at the back end of his career. We need to replace him, bro. That's what the man told me. He wanted Richard Hughes and Edwards, and they're back in it. So.
Everyone's happy that Edwards and Hughes. There's a question I want to ask you, but like all of you, because Carl, you said something, yeah, that it made me think about Manchester City owners. At the end of every season, or is it like at the beginning? He always the owner always does this like.
Oh, you remember G? We spoke about that. He gives that. Our thingy, our interview.
Yeah, always gives like an hour interview, and he talks about the previous season that they've just done, and he talks about what they're aiming to do moving forward in terms of. He won't specifically say, "I'm going to buy this player."
He even swears in it, bro. Unfiltered,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Do you think? Obviously, I don't know who else does it, by the way. So people, please let me know in the chat because I don't know any of our other top clubs or Premier League clubs that do it. Do you think we want to, as fans, want to see more of that, where you do have an owner, as Carl said, where we don't hear from the owner, so it's good in one sense, but then you have to bear the consequences of that when the fans are acting, would we say, somewhat, afraid or scared or annoyed, in certain situations. Would we want how the Manchester City owner is, which is, bruv, every season he chats to man, let us know, okay, this is the aim, this is what we're trying to do, so then we know going into it, this is where they stand as a football club. Do you guys prefer that? Like, which approach do you prefer?
I like it, but I don't want it from John Henry, bro. I want it from the sporting director. I don't want it from Man City's owners. A little bit different because they're invested in football themselves, bro. Like they actually love the football behind it as well. John Henry's going to speak to you he's going to try and do the football thing to relate to you, but he's really speaking in a business term, which is not a problem. But just give it to the sporting director, and he doesn't have to say like. It's just the direction the club's going to go in without doing the regular semantics and that. Just give us the direction the club's going to go in, what you want to bring to the club, what your ambition is. Because even if your ambition was, if you told us we've got a great youth setup that Jurgen left us with this great youth setup, we saw some gems come through. We want to invest into that because we feel like we can get players out of that. If it so happens that a player pops out and we've, the manager says he wants that player, then we're willing to invest if it's going to benefit the club. But that's safe, innit? Because then my expectation is, okay, you kind of sound like you just want to use the youth, but it might safe.
Can I add to that as well, Sam? Bro, it's so mad, that it's a great point. Would you want? You're right, Savage. Let the sporting director do. The crazy part is there's people that call themselves journalists, right? The first press conference, who was sitting next to Arnold Slot, bro? They could have asked the man. Yep. Where you see us going for, you could have asked all of these brilliant questions that we've just sat here and plopped out of thin air, bro. And we're not journalists. But you're telling me you had the opportunity to ask the guy that's going to deal with the transfers and how the club's going to move forward in terms of selling, buying, direction, how we want to play. You're the guy that hired the new manager, so you know everything. But no one asked him any of these type of questions.
They shut it down. They shut down that
But
conversation.
no one asked him the question. So how can you shut down that no one asked him?
And is right, man. They waste the question like that in the press conference. Just they asked him directly about Zubimendi, knowing full well he's going to say that man belongs to another club. They all say that instead of just asking about transfers in general. And there's this long left of the transfer window. But you can even mention the fans if you want. You can say like, we're seeing a bit of things around the fans. Everyone's seeing a bit of unrest in the fan base. Can you assure the fans that before the transfer window comes in,
you're looking to bring someone into the club? That because it's just not professional.
It is professional.
Also, asking the same question that for a fact you're not going to get an answer at is
how is what me and Em just said not professional, but asking are you going to sign Zubimendi who belongs to another club more professional?
That's the thinking behind it, because that's the respect that they need to give to the other club. Hey, that's
exactly.
So they need to give into that other club.
You're proving my point. So don't ask him directly about a particular person. Ask him about signings, bro.
No, but if you're a journalist, you have to ask that question. It's one of those.
But we know he's not going to answer it. You just said he's not going to answer. It becomes very
awkward. You kind of know the answer.
Okay, so you sit in a room. You're telling me you sit in a room and you go, right, there's a list of questions I have, and I know for a fact the manager ain't going to answer this. But for some strange reason, if I ask this 100 times, I feel that he's going to give me somewhat of an exclusive in the room. He's not going to do that, bro. You're not going to tell and say, yeah, man, we're planning to sign him and he's going to be our player. That's crazy, bro. You'd be like, hold on a minute, bro. I'm still discussing stuff. My other club, they were like, see, man, are trying to disrespect us, bro. We're going to make it even longer for you. Instead,
just about wanting to speak about to be honest.
Instead, just say what Savage just said. Just say, look, we've been looking around. We've noticed there's a bit of unrest with the fan base because Liverpool haven't made any signing. We know that you're going after Zubimendi because we know that's to be a fact. But is there any other areas you're looking to strengthen, or can we, not make a promise, but there's something you can tell the fan base to kind of calm them down because we feel like we're not going to do any business when we can. That's a question that you can easily go and you can answer that. That's a simple question.
Oh, you keep saying they won't, but man, ask the question in the first place.
Doing the thing where they lowering your expectation and to over deliver on anything, little thing. That's why I was so hyped. I am hyped about Zubimendi. That's why we're hyped about Zubimendi, because we have nothing. They thirst us for information, for signing. They almost starving us for something.
Because then no one's asking the right questions.
When they deliver, we are over the moon.
No, because no one's asking the right question.
Because they've done something.
No one's asking the right question.
I'm not telling me that they won't answer the question when no one's even asking that.
No one's answered. You're asking the same question that I know you're going to ask, and I know the answer.
And ends as well. You know that it's going to go, oh, yeah, you at the back. Then they're going to ask the question. If the first person's already mentioned Zubimendi's name, you go to your second. Don't these men have backup questions, bro?
Man said, oh, yeah, I know you didn't answer about Zubimendi, but
bro,
he's a player. You're like, bro, he's not going to answer this, bro. Ask something else, bro.
We talk about that in last stream, relationship, and for some reason, I think that's the biggest issue with journalism now. You have journalists who don't want to burn. They don't want to burn their relationship because that's how they.
That's mad. So that's why then the fans need to, Then that's why the fans need to shut up then and stop asking. Oh, why don't we get any information about the club? Because no one's asking.
It's not even what we just said on this stream is not even a disrespectful question as well.
Ask proper questions, bro, and you get better answers. You can't keep asking about players.
It's more about
tell me one man.
Image, the image they're trying to portray.
Can you answer this then? How many times in your experience as a football fan has a manager been asked about a player that they're planning to sign but still belongs there, and he's gone, yeah, we're going to sign the player. We're just blah blah blah. How many times has one manager answered that question?
Multiple times. Again,
which one, bro? No, because if it's happened, you would be able to tell me. They skate around it. They go, look, we're not going to speak about a player that's not ours. Yes, he's a very good player, but we don't want to speak about a player that's not our player. Oh, you guys, that's the answer all the time, bro. How do I know this and I'm not sitting in the damn room, bro? So ask another relative question to give us a bit more insight.
We can't keep using. You can't keep using that how to operate, bro. We're asking for better, isn't it? Like, That's not. What do you
I know
mean?
we're asking for better, but the
Okay,
thing is,
for-
we're
okay,
not
for-
going to get better because
For
they
example,
think
you keep
that
saying that's how
standard
they
is
operate.
better.
For example, you keep saying that's how they operate, but what was the biggest talking point when Slot came in? Because Redmen TV decided to ask a different question to everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else was running around talking about his formation. By your token, oh no, this is how they operate. They asked him a question. My man started giggling. I don't know who told you that. Maybe they should get a coaching badge. It became the biggest talking point. They went on their channel, everyone was cooking him and that, and he's like, listen, they're their own independent place, bro. Like a lot
Yeah,
of the
but that
journalists.
was innocent. That was an innocent question. That was
So
just
it's
an
what I
innocent
just-
question.
What?
But
No,
It was an
me-
interesting question, and it gave out. It had legs as a story, but it was just innocent. It's not how. It wasn't a question that question how they operate, how the team is being operated from a management standpoint. You know, it was innocent, or it was a, for lack of a better term, it was a throwaway question. You know, it wasn't something that needed to be.
Hey, does that
taken
Muggle
up
understand
as
what we're
deep.
talking about in the chat, by the way, G?
I don't think so. But again, I already told you about my man.
Honestly, pay attention, man. You can't be this slow, bro. Not you, Carl. The Muggle in the chat.
Yeah, this is why I ain't never trying to be no damn joke. If this is the case, bro, allow me with it,
Bro,
because
I think.
it
Sorry,
stinks.
go.
Nah, it
Imagine,
stinks, bro. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, the status quo changes by people changing and asking a different question. Nothing me and N said was remotely rude, was remotely intrusive. We mentioned the fan base, which is a trigger point because now what you're gonna say? Fuck the fan base. You can't. So he's gonna.
yeah,
No,
So that's what I'm saying, bro.
no,
And all he has to say, and even if he does no, we're working hard in the background, still bring someone in. Okay, safe.
Savage,
Now what we all know
this
is
comes
working
from the
hard.
school of PR. This comes straight from the school of PR. That if there's nothing, if I'm not giving you any information, there's nothing for you to be talking about the team in a negative manner.
But Carl, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Carl. I don't care, and Savage don't care what comes at the club, but the other side of the fan base do. So all we're saying is, if you want to know more, you have to ask better questions. Then you can get more information. There was a question saying, "Would you rather John Henry do the Man City thing, where the Man City owner speaks?" We're like, well, there was a press conference at the start of the season that you had your sporting director in there with the manager. You could have easily asked him, you know, in terms of the direction of the club, where we planning to go. You know, what weak areas in the team do you think you are? Those type of questions. So as a fan, you go, we know what the weak areas are, or we assume we know what they are.
Exactly.
If a journal asks that, then he'll be like, well, you know, we're looking.
The first thing they said is, we want to assess what we have, and
but no one asked the question, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. No one even asked the question.
Once we assess, we have.
Yeah, but Carl, that was weeks ago. That was weeks ago. So it's a follow-up question. You said to man, it's likely to heat up in August. It's August, and man want to know, is it still on the pot? Is it still cooking or not?
Nah, man.
You turn the stove down.
And also, what G was talking about as well. G wasn't talking about a press conference.
But the thing is that we're not.
I was talking about what my man does.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. G wasn't talking about press conference. G's talking about a sit-down interview with the owner or the sporting director.
Or the sporting director.
The Man City one, bro. It's so cold, bro. Man, I get it. Man City's behind Liverpool in terms of history and that, so they're trying to play catch up in the world and that. But I watched the whole thing. Man was talking about the cafe and the restaurant they're gonna put outside Man City to make it more global. They're talking about the clubs across the planet. They're talking about buying the best players.
I even think, like, just like listening to you guys, I even think the reason why you look at these kind of things is purely because obviously, as Savage said, they're behind us. But for me, they're moving in a newer way than Liverpool. Let me not say better, because either way could be perceived as better. But they're moving in a newer universe, in a newer kind of way than I would say that Liverpool are kind of moving in. So the way that Man City are moving in, obviously with how successful they've also been, clearly fans, like, you rarely hear about unrest. Obviously, there's going to be unrest regardless, as N said. There's going to be a side of a fan base that's just going to be vexed about something regardless. But the majority of their fan base understands this is what my owners are about, or this is what my sporting director is about, or this is what my club is about. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're happy with. This is what we're not so happy with. That's the football side. Now, as Savage said, brother, man's now talking about other things. And this is where I think where we then might have a different perception even on FSG, John Henry, and everybody else.
Okay.
Because even if we then, I'm not saying man need to know your every business deal. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a Burger King next week. I'm not even saying that. What we are saying though is anything that pertains to Liverpool Football Club, which might help or hinder in terms of you may have to take money away from Liverpool or not put so much money into Liverpool. Hey, just let us know. Just let us know that's what you're thinking to do, because at least you get all the FSG out people away from where, and you might not care. I get it. I get it. No. I understand they won't do it. Yeah, I know they won't do it.
I don't understand why you keep saying they won't when we're talking about an owner who has. So you're saying it like it's impossible. One's done it. In fact,
it's impossible. I'm
the
saying
Man City one done it. The Man City one done it. I'm sure the Leicester one. Man City, Leicester, Newcastle, Manchester United, and Arsenal, bro. That's 5 I saw already.
Yes, but all business. Look, McDonald's is not run the same way as Apple.
But why are you telling us that Liverpool won't do it? Like, why can't Liverpool do it?
Look at it; they all a different entity. Like just because we're a part of the same club of English Premier League team doesn't mean we need to be run the same way. And they've decided to siphon information, and to just they only give out information when it's time to give it out. Like they spoon feed information to journalists when they want to.
Yeah, listen. It just feels like these guys are just happy to be in the room, and they're not willing to ask uncomfortable questions, questions that they see the fans want to know. Because you asking about Zubimendi when I know the answer.
Journalists, not the club.
Yeah, no, but you're a journalist that's asking about our football club, so you're clearly interested in what we're doing. You're not sitting in on a slot press conference if you don't want to know what's going on with Liverpool. But what I'm saying is, no one's asking.
Who are not comfortable in their position.
But these are the men that everyone rates, bro, and tell me we should listen to what they say and stuff like that. So I'm saying, I just need you to do your job a slightly bit better, bro. I'm not saying
exactly. I don't know why we're making a excuse.
I think we're misplacing our frustration. Our frustration is with the journalists, not with the club.
No, we're not frustrated. There was a question that G asked. We're not frustrated.
Well, it's just a figure of speech. It's just a figure of speech. I'm not saying we're frustrated, like we're angry at the club, but
and that's why I don't think the fan base should ask any more questions and be upset about shit they don't want to know about the club, because clearly you're happy with the questions the journalists are asking, which is fine.
Who are not asking a question because they're afraid to lose their position.
So then why? So okay, no problem. But then why is there a conversation about we feel FSG ain't doing the best for the club? But no one's asking. We're just making stuff up. You don't know until you go. Richard Hughes, I've seen in the fan base that there's always this FSG in, FSG out conversation. Where do you see the club in the next 5 years? Do you have enough financial backing from the club to block? And what you can ask those type of questions to then cipher. Yes. Okay, are you getting enough financial backing? Then you can go right. FSG out people are always making sense, because Richard Hughes is kind of sidestepping it a bit. Like maybe there's no funds.
And what's crazy is we've been around where journalists have asked disrespectful questions. So for you to say they won't ask this because they're worried, I've seen them ask worse questions, bro. Nothing to do with football, bro. About man's relationship and all sorts, bro. So if they're happy to ask,
these men are just happy to be and
easy to ask. But the thing is, if you start questioning the owner's leadership, it's easy for him because he owns a team. It's a private entity. They have no obligation to specifically you as a journalist to answer those questions and also to give you a media credential to come and cover the team.
Yeah, but there's also a follow-up question to what's already been asked. If it's a follow-up question to something what's already been asked, then they're not gonna shunt you for asking a follow-up question. Look, man, they're not gonna shunt you, but it's already been asked. They asked him in the first press conference, Richard Hughes. They asked him about they didn't even ask. See, that's why the other journalist was smart, because he didn't mention Liverpool. He said in general the transfer window, and then Hughes' answer was about August, not Liverpool in general, innit? So it's just a follow-up question. Well, we're back in, I don't know when was it, June? Back in June.
I think it's more with journalists instead of the club, because the club's going to act
That's what me and
because that's
just
how
said.
they decided to.
That's what me and
decided
just
to handle
That's what me and
situation.
just said. The journalist.
And I think just to kind of almost round it off, because it's just, bro, it's like there's both sides, and I think what you actually both are saying is like you got points both sides of this kind of discussion.
I don't think Carl
right?
has a point still.
No, I do. No, to be fair, I do because I understand that regardless of anything, I understand as to why they're not going to do it. My thing though, with the why you're not going to do it, is that right now amongst the Liverpool fan base, and I'm not even talking online, I'm talking the people who do go to games and stuff like that, the relationship between the owners and the fans isn't great. Yes, we come to games. Yes, we will still do whatever we do, but the relationship isn't great. That relationship between the two parties is not great. I'm not saying it, by the way, it needs to be 10 out of 10. I don't know anybody who's 10 out of 10. But what I'm saying, though, is just at this current moment in time is that you could at least, I'm saying, as an example, I'm saying the relationship is almost like a 5 out of 10. And obviously 10 being the best, right? I'm saying you could at least up it by 2.
It's because we feel like there's a lack of investment into the squad, into the performance of the squad. Like we always doing things late.
Is that a question you have then, Carl? Is that what you?
That's a frustration with the thing.
So, Carl, you see that question? Carl, you see that question? That would be an ideal question to ask the sporting director.
Yeah, but they're not going to ask
fans, I feel that there's a lack of investment in the squad.
Owner, you ask that question, I would probably be like, look, you see this guy? We're not allowing him in the building for.
We went off the owner though. We said the sporting director. It's not the owner. Yeah, it's not a billionaire being questioned. It's a man whose job is to get players in and to work around the players. Asking him a question about his job, bro, which he's an expert in. Like there shouldn't be an issue with it, bro. You're not being rude to him. You can keep saying that people don't do it, but
that's not how they view it. That's not how they view it.
Wait, how do you get
negative? Anything they view negative, it shouldn't be answered and should be just like you said.
But that's the biggest. That's the biggest. But that's the biggest talking point. But Carl,
and then it's not negative. It's not negative, bro. It's about the future of the club. It's not negative.
Yeah, we want to know. You just want to know as well. You're part of the fan base. There's a lot of fans out here going, we don't invest enough in the squad. That's an ideal question to ask the sporting director to go. We as fans, I've seen that the fans. This is what's coming out from the fans, and majority of them are saying they don't feel that there's enough investment in the squad.
I agree, but
that's not a negative question. That's a question about your job.
If I'm the owner, and then we've decided to run the team the way they running the team. If you are someone who's asking the question in different way, in different manners throughout the year, throughout the season, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna target you. I'm gonna be like, you know what, you're not getting any credential to games for a month.
This sounds more about how you feel, Carl, than how the because we're talking like the sporting director's there to answer them questions, bro. You're saying that you sound like
there to ask the question.
No, but you're saying it like it's never been.
That I think they've always done a great job to put that aside, to move those questions out of the way, or to just.
But the questions have been asked before, bro. They've been asked before, so you're saying it like they've never been asked. But they just used to add Scott.
I've heard the answers before. But and what I'm trying to say to you is, and the answer I've always been saying.
Quick question: Is this Remy guy? Is this Remy guy paying attention, bro? Is he slow, bro?
It's always.
I don't get what you're saying, bro. I watched him ask Klopp before on different occasions. I heard one Klopp tell me that Oxen thing he was world class and all that, and we're not to bring in. And that's the same question. Klopp didn't say it was rude, and the same journalist asked him the question was there the week after, bro.
Savage, quick one. And guy, obviously it's your stream, but can you? I don't know. Ask guys, he's slow, not paying attention.
The thing is, there was actually a comment that I was going to put up because he mentioned it here, right? The club has given the background information needed. Apparently, it says the manager has to assess the current players first before embarking on the changes needed. This is a new era in the management. The only thing that and my thing to this particular comment is that like I said, the relationship between the fans and the ownership has nothing to do with Slot coming in yesterday.
No, it doesn't.
It's
It
it's
doesn't.
been going on for time.
Exactly.
So obviously that's why this discussion started, was because we're talking about it from a base of, if we go down a similar route, we don't have to copy, but if we go down a similar route of what Manchester City do with their owner, which is they, as Carl said, rightfully so, they siphon that information, they give out whatever information it is, whatever they want, they give it out to the journalists. They obviously do it in-house, and then we get to see that that interview. I think it's usually it comes out like just before the season actually kicks off.
Yeah.
And then we get to see that interview, right? The reason why I said I prefer things like that is just so you now have a level. You don't have full, because you don't know what players they're going to sign. You don't know who they're even looking at. You just have a level of transparency that will always be in more favor of the fan side.
And
now
we can always refer back to that interview no matter what.
Exactly. As opposed to now, the problem that you've got, and Carl, that's what when you were talking, I was like, what you're saying isn't even that it's wrong. We're trying to say that why can't it just be a bit better? It's not that it's right, it's just that it could be better, because now all we're asking for is that if you just gave the fans a tad, and I'm not asking for a lot, a little bit of transparency, as N said, certain questions that you may ask, whatever the type of questions that these journalists may ask, as long as you can just do that, if you gave us that, I promise you, because of how I know how our fan base is, how loyal and loyal is to the club in itself, I promise you that relationship will be so much better, and you won't get what we're getting now, which is everybody's frustrated, everybody's annoyed, and etc.
If you kick man out for what me and Enz asked, if you kick man out for what me and Enz asked, bro, that tells 1,000 answers that.
I wouldn't kick you out. Why would I kick you out?
And also, this is what man ain't taking into account. Wait there, Cole. This is what man ain't taking into account. It's so valid, because we're not asking for it every year. This is a new era, bro. Of all the times you can do one, is this year, bro.
Exactly.
Because bearing the fan base, no matter what Klopp said, even though they watched 1,000 interviews, they still think it's FSG's fault why he's gone, even though we know it hasn't. So like, you're basically gone, this is a new era. This manager is so great for us. I want to put man's mind at ease. Could you give us a manager that no one's heard of before? You've signed no players. The 3 biggest players of the club still haven't signed a contract. I think there's a bit of unease, bro. All the times you can speak now, not the owner. I don't need John Henry to do it, because he's employed someone else to do that job. Richard Hughes. Even if you want to sit down with Edwards, we get one LFC TV so they can run the interview themselves. But for that moment, don't have to give us the minute details. They don't need to know which player you're signing or how much money you're going to spend on them. But for that, just lay out a plan, because going forward, everything has changed, bro. The landscape has changed completely, bro. The backroom stuff's not the same. The manager's not the same. The coach ain't the same. I don't even know if Carroll's still there, bro. Like, everything could have changed, bro. We want to know about the youth. Like, some people are invested in the youth, which is not a problem. But do we want to? If one of the youth are your favorite, like, everyone likes Trey now, innit? But if you wake up tomorrow morning and Trey's gone, you're like, what the fuck, bro? You just sold him. So you want to know that, like, oh no, they're going to go out on loan, and you know what I mean? Not the details of which person, but just the fact knowing that, okay, you're treating the players.
This is our plan for the youth players. Yeah.
And you might have something little what's minor, but might mean something more to the people of Liverpool. Oh yeah, the surrounding area of Liverpool, we're looking to build this here because I'm looking to start this program with this local school. That's what people do, bruv. And he puts everyone's mind at ease. And then every time we jump on a content creator comes on talking shit, talking about, I heard that FSG said this. I'm like, no, we didn't.
Okay.
They didn't say that. We've got an interview.
And that's all we're saying is me and Savage ain't. And the crazy thing is, me and Savage don't actually care about these things like that. But what we're trying to do, we know there's part of the fan base that actually do. All we're saying is, if you guys want to know this information, because I don't need to know it, but if you guys want to know it, the journals has to ask better questions so you guys can get a better understanding where the club is. Instead of making stuff up, instead of assuming.
Okay.
Ask better questions, bro.
Let me ask that question. So it sounds to me that whether Savage, whether it's G, even you kind of saying it right now, is that you want a better relationship with the club. From any stand, any department or any management that's happening at the club. And I think what I'm trying to say is that the club has decided that's how they want to communicate with us, and that's how they feel like it's appropriate for them to communicate. Yes, we're saying it's not enough, it's not good enough, and it's creating a frustration in the fan base, in certain part of the fan base. But the thing is, in order for this to have to get better, it has to start with journalism. It cannot start from it cannot be from the club, because the club has no incentive to do better in situation if they think that they protect themselves from whether it's an asset value standpoint, whether it's from an image standpoint. The club thinks they're doing the way they've been communicating is good enough, because they
That's
haven't
because the
changed
journals are not asking the right
since they
question,
got the
bro.
club.
That's why they think it's
What?
good enough, because the journals ain't asking the right question. If the
And
journals
I
ask the
think
right
that's what
question,
I think
the club will then
you and
pick up.
I, we agree. It's that the
Yeah,
only
we do
way
agree.
this will change if true journalism is being done. It's
That's
being done.
what
If
we've been
it's not
saying
being
from the
done,
start.
we as
Are
fans will
you,
always feel frustrated towards the club, and because we don't receive the amount of expectation that we think the club owes us. You know,
I think
the failure. The biggest sin is failure in communication. Failure to
I think
communicate your expectation, and then that's what's happening to us with the club. But the thing is that the only people who can resolve that is the journalists. It's not necessarily how the club behave and communicate.
The biggest
I
link
think
between the club and the fan base was Klopp, and he's gone. That's my whole point. I don't need it year in, year out. I don't particularly need it, but I'm a Liverpool content creator, bro. And so everyone on the panel, so we see it day in, day out. FSG out wouldn't exist if Manda made certain things clear, bro. But
that
just for the outlier
you,
club, you want to know in it, because even though we don't run the club, of course not, and they don't have no obligation, bro. But everyone's bit of money does invest into the club in some way, bro. They just want to know in it. They just want to feel part of it, bro. And
Yeah.
it sets their mind at ease, bro, because nobody wants to come on and just. That's why we come on all the time, and there's always somebody who has some inside information that's not even real, bro. And I'm like, where did you get that from? They're like, oh well, I heard that John Henry said this and that for their own sake as well, bro. Like their image,
Yeah.
like it sounds
Where
crazy.
they hearing
And
him from Boston?
but even you see, even on this thing, by the way, I know Nunez just said about journalism, but I'll be honest, that's for me. I don't actually think it's got anything to do with the journalist. It's all about culture that you set,
So yeah,
and the culture can only start from them, which then filters down to journalists. I.e., you see when we do this stupid interview with Arne Slot at the beginning of the season, and it's that brother, whoever his name is, and he does the in-house thing. Yeah,
and
scrap that. Let
he
me hear.
52 times, bro, for no reason.
Yeah, 52. Yeah, like it was just done. How about, you know what? Scrap that. Let me get that same guy, if you want, who does the interview. Tell him to interview Richard Hughes and whoever else he needs to, and let's actually really ask these guys the real questions in that. But let that be a culture that we set, as opposed to what, because obviously the journalists, I can kind of understand, because they're probably being fed from Liverpool, someone who works at Liverpool, in terms of can't talk about this, can't talk about this. If you talk about this, he's gonna react this way. If you talk about this, you're gonna be like, it's probably all hush hush. We know, bro. Look at the way that we are with transfers, how nobody knows. That is not a coincidence. How can we be one of the only few clubs in the Premier League that you never, ever, ever know what is going on as a journalist? But every other club in the whole Premier League seems to, we will know the 12 days before Christmas that they're going to sign such and such. Like it doesn't even make sense. You can tell that there's clearly something that Liverpool have said and or done to now put us in this position. Fair enough, and that's cool, but I've got no real issues with that. But I'm more talking about the culture.
Tactic. I think it's more of a negotiation tactic. They're not negotiating in the public space. I think a lot of clubs negotiate in the public space.
No, I agree. I agree. They do.
They overpay for players, and sometimes they underpay for players, because there's the aspect of negotiating in public. And I think the club, I think Richard Hughes, well, I won't say Richard Hughes, I'll say Marco Edwards is frowning upon that. You know, I don't think that's something he likes, negotiating I'm guessing in pressure. Sometimes you're looking at a deal for a player, and then you don't like it. But the thing is, there's such a frenzy around the player, and whether it's from fan, whether it's from journalists, and you're starting to feel like maybe you got to take it, instead of just looking at the deal and the player. does the player has that value? But the thing is, I just think that Michael Edwards do not like to negotiate in public. I think that one of the biggest reasons why maybe we're not signing Zubimendi is not going through is because there's such a it's so public. It's so public. I don't think they intended for that news to be out there.
No, I know. I know. I fully know. Yeah, I know. That was probably an accident that it's even been made public anyway.
But I don't think they wanted that to happen.
No, I agree. Listen, man, I'm gonna end it there, man, because like I said, we can do this. We can do this all day, man. It's an interest. You know what? This is definitely giving me an idea for a show, because I am intrigued, because just listening to the two kind of sides, and obviously my own side in terms of what I kind of believe, I feel like a lot of this would stop the bloody shows that we see that are FSG out, or the fucking hashtags that we see that say FSG out and stuff. Bro, I actually think it would actually quell some of that kind of talk, because it would then, at least you can't sit there and say, well, technically he did say that. So big Remy, there's actually one thing I do agree with you what you said. It is a new era in terms of what we've got now, with the old management kind of coming back, and we've got a new manager. So if they don't make the appropriate signings, I agree. That's when, you know, that we probably do have to wait, because for all I know, we signed 5 players between now and then. But don't you think that even fans, at least even if it was just one signing we make in this whole window, if fans had actually been told this time ago, I feel like they'd at least be a little bit more at ease, kind of thing. Because for the longest while, it was kind of, as Carl said, it was fed more that he's trying to assess the squad. That doesn't scream that we're going to sign anybody. That just screams that he's just trying to assess the squad. He may sign someone, he may not sign someone. I'm not saying you have to tell us every individual thing. I'm just saying that you need to give us a tad bit of transparency, man. That's all I think people are asking for. And I'm telling you, the relationship will get better. That I can tell you for sure would happen, because I've been to the grounds, I speak to the guys who go to the games, and I promise you, they're not happy. It's not even the online community. Forget the online community. I'm talking about the guys who go to the games, die-hard fans, scousers and that. Them men are not happy. They're not happy with this ownership. That shouldn't be the case. And considering it's not even that we're like Glazers, where we're doing a madness with our money and dividends and taking all this stuff out, we're not even doing that. We're making money. And the fans are not happy. There's a reason behind that. So, yeah. But again, that's a conversation for another day, man. Savage. Ends.
Yeah,
Carl.
I think it's just a different in managing style. It feels that you're not included in a part of the club, because again, football clubs are always it feels like a family. It feels like you're a part of the community, and I think that fans are starting to feel like Liverpool is an entity, like McDonald's, like Apple, and then now there's that frustration that they are no longer attached to the club, because the club is just this organization. And
well, I'm saying is pray for Slot, man.
Maybe because I'm used to it. It's a North American style. It's a North American style. We stay away from any news that we're not propagating out there. If it's any news, any question from journalists, we the one who sets up the conversation, not necessarily a journalist or news network. We dictate what kind of image and what kind of information we want to be circulating out there. And I get it, it's frustrating to a lot of you, because again, a football club, it's a family thing, it's a community thing. But in North America, it's strict business. And when we talk about business, and we need to keep business booming, the less information out there, the better it is in terms of position. And then when we talk about position, we strictly talk about money. We talk about money.
Pray for Slot, bro, because if you don't go right for him, bro, you'll soon find out about relationships if you don't go right for Slot, bro. You know what I mean? You want FSG out, aeroplanes going over the stadium. You'll see, bro.
Bro, it's gonna.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay because I'm not on this FSG out, FSG in thing. I'll just whatever, and I'm not child, bro. Like, it's not what I'm gonna do. Run around with a banner and that, bro. I don't care about that.
You're a football fan who happens to love Liverpool.
Yeah, but bro, I love Liverpool to death. I'm never running around with an FSG out banner, bro. It's just weird, bro. Like, what the fuck, man are billionaires, and if they want to get rid of the club, they will, and if they don't, they won't, bro. Like, I'm not. I got a kid to feed and a puppy, bro. I ain't doing all of that business, bro. Fuck all of that. That's crazy, bro. But what I'm saying is for the manager, because he's the one in the crossfire, bro. Remember, he's coming from where he doesn't deal with any of that stuff, innit? That's what he's told us, bro. So the relationship between that part of the club and the fan base is still there. He's just in the middle of it, bro. Trying to perform on a football pitch.
But the fans don't actually inundate him from those.
No, but the fans don't. The fans don't trust him yet. The fans don't trust him. At least with Klopp, the fans will just jump on the fact that they're not helping Klopp out enough, bro. With Slot, bro, he's like an outsider, bro. I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to help him, bro. Like what I'm saying is to benefit Slot more than anyone else, bro, because he's just in the crossfire, bro. So yeah, all of this are assessing players and we might buy this and we might do that. But there's also going to be a point where there's some stuff he's going to have to say because the player, what he has identified the stuff, they ain't got it. And no one's been upfront with him. So when it starts to fail, bro, just know, innit? Just remember this day as well, bro. I hope it doesn't. I hope it never happens, actually.
Yeah, I agree with you because because that means we're failing. That means that we're in a horrible position. But again, exactly. I also think that the way they do it also, they inundate the coaches out of this, right? Because now, again, our biggest issue, again, is that journalism is not happening with the club. And so, therefore, there's never a word that the manager will be put in a situation to critique or to even put out their opinion in the matter. You know, I think the club had a huge issue with Klopp because Klopp was so big that he could actually speak. He could actually speak, and I think Klopp decided not to use that power. He made the decision not to use that power.
Klopp did speak. He stuck up for them all the time, bro.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah, but
which is fine.
He could have caused a mess.
No, there's nothing to cause. That's what I'm saying. There was nothing to cause with Klopp because it's just people didn't want to listen to him. Klopp told, bro, even on his last interview, he told man, every time I finished a point behind, that was nothing to do with FSG. You think an extra 100 mil would make me win the league? It wouldn't have, bro. And he's right. It was 1 point, so he knows that's his coaching. But not everyone feels like that, and some people don't trust it in it because, as you see, somebody can say something, we can all hear it in an interview, and then we'll get back on G's channel and we'll ask everyone what did Slot say, and you'll hear 4 different answers, bro. Even though there's one.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Guys, let me even wrap it up there, man. Let me wrap it up there because I need to head to the shop before it closes. Big up Doug, by the way. Guys, make sure you head on to the Dugout football channel and subscribe to my guy, man. Big up Doug every single time, man. Hi, lads. Big up G at the panel. Just back from Liverpool as I was at the game today. What I saw from both games, the 11 starts versus Ipswich from Sevilla. I think that was mostly what the guys were saying as well earlier on in the stream about that. I think that'll be the team as well. I think that makes the most sense, man. Savage ends. Carl, love Jerry as well. Jumped in briefly. Love for you guys jumping in. Ends. Savage, have you got anything popping?
Was it Monday tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it
tomorrow's
is.
Monday.
Yeah, probably have something tomorrow. I don't know, bro, but probably.
Savage Talks Football, guys. Make sure you head on over there or Hugo Online.
Doing a season preview, a season prognostic.
We're gonna have to do it this week, and it's last time to do it. So sometime this week we'll throw it together. Be interesting.
And Ends is ready, bro.
If you have time,
please
invite me and I'll come through. I've been a little bit of vacation, so I've taken 2-3 weeks until September 1st kind of thing. So
Cold.
Please invite me. I'll be around to keep myself some company.
Nah, well, listen, man.
Usually, I'm somewhere in Europe around this time. I'm usually around, if it's not Spain, around France or even around Liverpool. But this year, it's been a little bit of madness around me, so I decided to stay put.
Say no more. Ends, guys. Listen, there's a snap there. Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow.
I won't schedule it yet, but
okay, cool. Guys, keep your notification bells on. You will catch
have you done the thing yet? The Lion King trailer, bro?
Bro, as in after this, I've still got to do the pre-record for the predictions anyway before we do Enz's one regardless. Then I've still got to do the other stuff. I got to drop the video for the other channel for the Marvel stuff because I finally finished watching the whole thing that I was supposed to tell you the other day. I've finished now. I watched every single thing, man.
I'm proud of
Bro,
you,
man. That is the longest 2.5 months I've ever spent of my life watching Marvel, but that was good. I can't lie, but I'll chat about it in the video anyway. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of content actually coming out this week. So.
Before we head out, I forgot to ask that. Based on how we play today, is there because we were talking about it last stream, is there an optimism of this team can compete with the best, or is it just like
tune into the preview? Tune in.